It is probably the single most important mathematical idea of all. The notion of proof by circle and line or ruler and compass construction means that geometry can be known about in a way that is different from knowing about physical things, and so makes geometry epistemically differentiated. Furthermore, starting from circles and lines alone and constructing a relationship using circles and lines alone makes the conclusions certain in a way that nothing else was at the time. In geometric reasoning, the argument and the conclusions were made supremely clear and evident to the senses. Indeed, the concept of proof.
The nutsack drop, particularly, that was me.
Well, you understand that proves the globe.
That was Bebs, yes.
A mechanism that gave a warrant for claiming geometry to be perfectly and absolutely true, made geometry the very paradigm of what we mean true and certain knowledge to be. In effect, in our understanding of nature, true means true, like geometry is true.
Come go with me. Open your mind. Was all I ever knew. Finding the knowledge of the real world starts with the point of which has no parts. These are the axioms of life.
True.
And I take my chances with the old ways, finding the proofs in geometry.
Perfect.
And I don't care what all the sophists say. I find the proofs
We call this
in reality. 'Cause they were right.
We call this
We
proof.
know that they were right.
True. We call this proof. Like geometry is true.
Starting with circles and lines alone, constructing the nature of what's known.
We call this proof.
Conclusions are clear and the evidence seen. This 3D space works perfectly. And I take my chances with the old ways, finding the proofs in geometry. And I don't care what all the sophists say. I find the proofs in reality.
Like geometry is true. Perfect. Absolutely.
And all around you is sinking sand. You have a place on which to stand. Foundations were already built for you.
Absolutely true.
Open your mind. And I'll take my chances with the old ways, hearing the words of what the ancients said. They say my words sound like sorcery, but there's wisdom in all honesty.
True.
Come go with me. Open your mind. Come go with me. We'll find the truth.
Absolutely true.
Can I ask why Mobius is blocked? Blue. Mobius is a decent bloke. I hope it's not because he's got a really good LIGO argument. You wouldn't have blocked him because of that, would you? Sorry, banned him from this server.
I don't want Mobius on my server, period.
Okay. Is it because he's got a really good LIGO argument?
It's because he doesn't have a LIGO argument.
It's because he does. He has one of the best LIGO arguments.
No, he doesn't.
Okay, so that is the reason then, because of the LIGO that you've blocked.
No, it's not.
Mobius.
That's not all. That's not it. Okay. I don't owe you an explanation.
No. I'm just asking. I was just trying to clarify, because Mobius is all right. I can't imagine why anyone would have banned Mobius, other than him having a really good LIGO argument.
I banned him for coming on my channel and being very disrespectful to me. That's why.
Okay.
You know what a standard deviation is?
Oh my, please, you know
Never
what?
mind.
I do not. Please tell me.
Never mind.
You know what? I do not know what a standard deviation is. Please tell me.
Well, I don't think so.
It's
You're
one
not
sentence.
even qualified to be having this discussion.
That's it? At Hums? Well, okay.
I'm just telling you. You don't know enough to have this discussion. Go look up standard deviation, see what it is.
You're throwing around words right now, but okay.
I'm not throwing around words. This is a freshman level statistical variable. Look it up.
I
Twisting.
thought you said up and down.
Rocky.
The beam was going up
Rocky.
and down, I thought you said.
If you'll shut the fuck up for a second, I'll explain it to you. And when the beam rocks a little bit, that changes the angle that the mirror is sitting at. And that results in an up and down motion of the laser. Not a left and right motion. Up and down
Why are
motion.
you so angry, Blue? Why are you so angry on your own server making these profanities? I don't understand. I'm just simply asking you a
I'll
question.
say what I want to on it. Some stuff. Okay, that's looking better. Damn, you brought the whole damn channel with you.
Well, you said I could bring
Almost.
my friends.
Yeah. Absolutely.
We're all cordial, like.
Let me, on a second. Try to get stuff arranged here.
Is Sean Hawkins joining also?
True.
So you can demonstrate the Nuxat drop for us then, can you?
Oh, definitely, yeah. It works on the globe every time.
Huh? There we go. Now I think we're okay. Working on a Cavendish paper.
So that's what started all this, Blue. The Cavendish detecting the Haiti thing.
I don't know why that's confusing to anybody. I don't know why it wouldn't.
Well, for starters, there was how many earthquakes on that day?
Oh, I don't know. Probably hundreds of them.
And how is it that you were able to distinguish that earthquake from the rest of them?
Well, quite obviously, that event occurred, I think, at about 12 Zulu, or less. It was 8:30 here in this time zone. So, midway through the day, if you go by international time. So I don't know, on a normal spread of data, I would think half the earthquakes happened before that time and half after that time. Obviously, none of the earthquakes that happened after it could have been it, right? And then you're left with the ones that occurred before it. Well, there was only one large magnitude earthquake that day. It was 7.2, I think, was the last number I saw. That one in Haiti, which occurred at 8:29 in just a few seconds, I think, is when the event started down there. And at 8:38 or 8:39, somewhere right around that time period, that's when we saw the torsion balance start reacting to it. It's just really a fairly simple process. You've got one major event that would have been strong enough that we could have felt it here where I'm located. and then it has to match up time-wise, which it does. That's the only way you can come to the conclusion.
So are you saying that you've checked all the earthquakes that happened in that day? For example, there could have been some closer by, less of a magnitude that could have registered, and how did you eliminate that exactly?
Yeah, we did. We checked. There were none close by. None of any significance. Nothing that we would have seen.
So you checked and you verified all the other earthquakes of the day? Really, Blue?
Really, SE? Have you checked have you checked it?
Where can you check something like that, by the way? Could you tell me which website records it?
I can get a list of it. You can Google it. Earthquake, current seismic activity.
Current seismic activity for any part of the world.
Is Sean Hawkins joining also?
I'm talking to SE if you don't mind.
Okay.
Okay, Blue, let's say I was to give you that, which I find highly improbable that you checked everyone, but let's say I was to give you that.
Wait a minute. Wait. Why would I check what do you mean checked everyone, SE? There was only one that occurred within 10 minutes or so of us seeing what happened to the torsion balance. Only one that would have been a magnitude large enough to have caused us to be able to see anything. How many more? Why do I need to check any more than that?
Well, there could have been someone closer by, right, with a smaller magnitude, no? That you may have not deemed
okay.
like.
All right. Do you have one that you'd like to look at?
No, I'm just asking you if you eliminated all the other earthquakes and how you came to the conclusion that out of hundreds of earthquakes that day, only that one registered on your thing.
Is Sean Hawkins joining also?
Yes, see, that was the only one of any significant magnitude anywhere near on that day. And the timing of it is far too coincidental to just be a coincidence.
Okay, so are you saying now in the future, if we have another earthquake of that magnitude, your apparatus will be able to pick it up?
Not necessarily.
Why not?
You could have another. Well, it's not just a matter of the magnitude of the earthquake. It's the proximity of the earthquake to where you are. That one was fairly distant from here, about 2,200 kilometers.
Yeah, that's pretty far away, I would say, no?
Well, right. What if it's on the other side of the planet?
Okay, so if we were to go back now, your apparatus is operational for how long, would you say?
Well, I've been operating it since December last year, or this year. Well, last year.
Okay, so I would venture to say, now I could be wrong about this, and I won't even say it, I'll just say it as a question. If we were to check the seismic activity going back that long, do you think we'd find something that would be able to register within the vicinity of what you said? Within,
I don't know.
How far would you say your apparatus could detect, first of all? We know up to 2,200. Would you say further than that, or would you say that's the limit?
Let's be extremely clear about what I'm saying to you. I'm not an expert in seismology, do not claim to be, have never made any claims along those lines. Okay? I rely on the input that I get from people who are experts in that field. Guys like PhD Tony.
You know, you're insisting that your flat Earth geometry will work in every circumstance.
What are you talking about?
So
this is Euclidean geometry, dude. It's not flat Earth geometry.
Flat Earth geometry. I called you a flat earther. I called you a flat earther. This is basic. This is
Geometry.
your yes. This is basic geometry. Your flat Earth geometry. Flat Earth geometry. This is basic geometry.
It is. Yes. What an angle
And
is.
you're demonstrating you have no
there are
idea
three
what basic
angles,
geometry is, Bev.
each of
Yeah.
which is 180 degrees. There are three
what basic
angles,
geometry is, Bev.
each of
Yeah.
which is 180 degrees. What's 3 times 180?
God, he doesn't
Sorry,
know
an
3
angle
times
of
1.
180 degrees.
Bev.
Each of
Yeah.
which is 180 degrees. I called you a flat earther. Yes, we have
Yeah, do
three
you know what that
angles of
is?
180
That's a
degrees.
straight line, right?
I called you a flat earther. Actually,
I was
you
pointing
will-
out your
you will
contradiction,
recall
Bev.
that-
I'm sorry, Tony, go ahead.
You will recall
just
that I
laughing at
didn't
your
agree
angle.
with you. There are
Idea
three
what basic
angles,
geometry is, Bev.
each of
Yeah.
which is 180 degrees.
The easiest way to understand it is that it is a continuous string. A geodesic is a continuous string of infinitely small straight lines. Straight line. Straight line. Straight line. Straight lines. Okay. I'll talk to you guys
You
later.
can come over to Emma UK anytime.
Yeah, but we can also stream it on our side.
Yeah, you can. Of course you can.
The very first thing I did after that happened was send Tony a DM, and I can show it to you.
I called you a flat earther.
Where I said
He's the one that
simply,
came
this
up
is
with
the-
that idea then, Blue? I gather?
No, he's not the one that came up with that idea.
I called you a flat earther.
He's not. The reason, the only reason I was asking Tony is because that's the only thing that seemed to make any sense. Some sort of seismic activity
I called you a flat earther.
caused the balance to do what it did. I was very curious about it. And if you listen to the video when it was happening live, you'll understand that I didn't make any claims. Not one.
I called you a flat earther.
Now, following the event, I sent a message to Tony.
I called you a flat earther.
And I heard from other people too, but Tony in specific, in particular, I said, "This is what happened.
I called you a flat earther.
This is what we saw. Take a look at the video. Does this make any sense? Please tell me that I'm out of my mind. That Cavendish could not possibly ever have detected that." Tony came back and said, "No, that's absolutely what it detected. The timing matches."
Okay, so you're going by by timing. It just happened to happen at that particular time.
That's how I can't help when it I didn't cause it to happen. SC, it's a fact of fucking life. You can go verify it for yourself. The earthquake happened at 8:29 in Haiti. That's the same time zone as Knoxville, Tennessee. I didn't see anything at 8:29, 30, 8:31. But at 8:38, I think I see the very first little bobble in it. And by 8:40, you see the torsion balance swinging slightly.
Could it be?
That's
I'm just
exactly-
saying. I'm just throwing this out here now.
That's exactly the length of time that people who are experts in the field of seismology tell me it would have taken the S waves to make it from Haiti to Knoxville, Tennessee.
Flat Earth geometry.
Yeah, obviously, it would have to be the surface wave. Yeah, but
Oh, those are called
is it
secondary
possible?
waves.
Sorry,
They're secondary, but okay, whatever.
the secondary waves, not the primary. Okay. Now I put this to you: is it possible that precisely at that time, a big old crane could have been passing by your house, like next door, and caused that bump?
Never seen it before.
Exactly, or since.
4 cents.
My point is, if we go back the past, how many months you said you had your apparatus, and we were to and check the seismic activity.
Yeah.
Do you think we'd find anything of substance? And if so, why hasn't your apparatus recorded that?
I don't run that thing 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, Montreal. I will tell you that in the probably several hundred hours that we have actually had the thing on live stream, you can't find it doing that. The only time you find it doing that is when I accidentally bump it.
Yeah, but I'm saying, couldn't a truck have passed by a big heavy crane, for example, and hit a bump that you wouldn't be able to hear or feel, but your apparatus picked up? Isn't that possible?
Yes, I don't live in the ghetto. And then there are no big.
You lived in a ghetto?
The heaviest thing that drives up and down the street in front of my house is an SUV.
So we ruled out any big heavy equipment. How about a garbage truck? Do garbage trucks pass by your house?
At 8 o'clock on a Saturday morning? No.
Okay, we're ruling stuff out.
It was Sunday morning.
It was a Sunday morning? I forget what day it was.
Sunday, I forgot now.
All right, now that we've exhausted that line of questioning, the real elephant in the room is this, Blue. If your device is designed to measure mass attracting mass, am I correct in that?
Yeah.
And
balance is for.
Sorry, go ahead.
That's what a torsion balance is for. Yes.
Perfect. That was my next question. So if we just shown that your torsion bar has not eliminated a certain variable, a very important one, doesn't that throw your whole experiment, like, I hate to say, because you put a lot of work in it, doesn't that throw that out the window?
Not a bit. It had no effect on the accuracy of the measurement of gravitational constant.
Well, how is that possible? We just
That type of
shown
motion is
that
not what we're
at an
measuring.
earthquake.
That type of motion is not the motion we're measuring, see.
Yeah, but the torsion bar, you just said yourself, got affected.
Wait, it wiggled up and down as far as I remember, not left to right.
Yeah, it's the opposite. That's the wrong direction. We're measuring the torque in the wire, the twist in it, not the forward and backward swinging of the torsion balance.
But it did affect the torsion balance itself, right? That thing, the main thing that is supposed to be, independent of everything, right?
It does not affect the amount of deflection of the torsion balance. It only caused the laser to bobble up and down, because the entire thing was swinging like a gravity pendulum. That's what causes that.
Actually, it didn't affect the torsion balance. It affected the room, not the torsion balance.
I didn't understand.
The torsion balance is the room was moving, not the balance.
See, this is Chaiki coming in here, Blue. I mean, if you want to...
That's how seismograph works. You have a heavy weight that doesn't move because it has inertia, and everything around it moves.
Right.
Blue, I think you need to have a talk with him there. He just ruined your whole experiment.
Go not. See, your inability to understand the experiment is not my problem.
Okay, if that's what you say.
Did I just hear, Chaiki or Blue, just one question, that the whole room moved but the weight?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And Blue agreed with him.
That's what pendulums do.
Let them say yes or no. I had a simple question.
That's how a seismometer works. You realize that, right?
Oh my fuck.
Yeah,
do you not? You understand how a seismometer works?
Yeah, it records every movement, whatever it is. That's
okay,
how it
well
works.
Then tell me how it works though. How does it do that?
I just said, did you not hear me?
It records every movement. And that's telling me how. I've got a great feeling that you know exactly how it works. Okay.
Is Sean Hawkins joining also?
So you don't see the paradox here, Blue, that you build a device that's supposed to be independent of everything, and then it detects a earthquake. You don't see the paradox in that, sir?
No, I don't. I think you're hung up on the word paradox. I think you ought to look it up and see what it means.
Well, choose
You use a
another word
paradox,
then that makes you feel more comfortable.
Everything is a paradox to you for some reason, SE, and this is not a paradox.
Well, maybe I used the wrong word, but doesn't that seem strange to you, Blue?
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. It doesn't account. Nothing accounts for me accidentally bumping it either, does it? When I've accidentally bumped it and the thing does exactly what it did, same sort of motion that an earthquake would cause. You're essentially bumping the cabinet. When I've done that accidentally, what does it do? Well, I mean, what do you do about that?
Well, you're making my point for me, Blue. You're saying I told you a truck could have passed by and caused that at 8 o'clock while you were sleeping, and you said no. The only thing that passes by is a 4x4. I mean, do you know really what passes? Everything that passes by your house, really, Blue?
I was sitting right there. Yes, SE, I do on a Sunday. I think it was a Sunday morning. Yeah, and I know there were no garbage trucks or any other kind of trucks, big trucks going up and down this residential street I live on, which is about a quarter of a mile away from the nearest large road.
Maybe you were walking by the apparatus and you bumped onto it at 8 o'clock on Sunday? Could you have been in the garage doing something?
Why don't you watch the fucking video and you'll see that didn't happen.
That was a joke, Blue.
Live online.
That was
at
a
the
joke.
Time. I was live online at the time. No, I didn't bump it. That's what was confusing to me. If I had bumped it, I would have known exactly what caused it. It would not have been a mystery. And I would have simply said, okay, that's not good. Shouldn't have done that. But it has really been shown many times to have no effect on the measurement that we're making, which is the twist, the deflection of the beam. That lateral left and right motion of the laser is not affected by that. It just makes it bobble up and down a little bit. That's
so something that was designed for sideways detection, you're saying now detected something up and down. Am I getting this clear?
When you upset it, it can do that. It will show that, but it doesn't change the reading that you're getting in terms of the amount of deflection that you're seeing.
So you don't think I have any reason of concern here? I'm just making shit up.
I don't think you know what you're talking about. I think you're talking out of your ass as usual, SE.
I was expecting you to say that.
You are. And you know you are.
Absolutely not, Blue. You got a thing that's supposed to detect gravity, right? Mass attracting mass, sideways motion, and then you claim that it's meant for that. Then you claim that it's up and down motion, and that the room is shaking. Like, you got to make up your mind here.
I don't have to make my mind up about a fucking thing, SE. I told you what happened, and I told you what it does. It's quite easy to see it. You can see it on the on the vernier scale. You can see that the entire beam is the entire torsion balance is rocking left and right. Twisting.
I thought you said up and down. Rocking. The beam was going up and down, I thought you said.
If you'll shut the fuck up for a second, I'll explain it to you. And when the beam rocks a little bit, that changes the angle that the mirror is sitting at. And that results in an up and down motion of the laser. Not a left and right motion. Up and down.
Why are you so angry, Blue? Why are you so angry on your own server making these profanities? I don't understand. I'm just simply asking you a question.
I'll say what I want to on it.
Like, this is upsetting you a lot, I see.
Leave.
Oh, I'm fine with it. I just, I don't want you to get upset and, have high blood pressure or something like that.
I don't get up. I'm not upset in having high blood pressure, SC.
All right. I think I've exhausted my line of question. I mean, does anybody else want to ask Blue anything?
By the way, Blue, what was the result of the day?
Hang on a second. Let's see. It was the very last test. And that measurement came out 6.76 times 10 to the minus 11th.
And that's what, by the way?
Hmm?
What is that? A measurement of?
That is a measurement of the gravitational constant.
Cool.
6.76.
I'm still amazed by the fact that
10 to the minus
Chaiki said
11th.
that the whole... Sorry.
0.76 times 10 to the minus 11th Newton meters squared per kilogram squared. It's the gravitational constant.
I'm still
The
amazed
accepted
that...
value. The accepted value of it is not that number. The accepted value is actually 6.6743. That's what we consider accurate number for it right now. So that test was a little high, but that's okay. Some are high, some are low. That's the reason why we run a lot of them.
I don't understand that either, but the first thing that I couldn't get into my head is how come a whole room move, but one thing in it. I don't understand that at all.
The entire Earth moved. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Could the room not move if the entire Earth moved?
Oh, I see.
How
It was
could the
that well
torsion balance that is
isolated
sitting-
that everything else moved, and that's how you recorded the.
Again,
torsion
like a
balance
seismograph
is a pendulum. Do you
records
understand?
any kind
you
of
tell me you
resonance.
understood how a pendulum works, or a seismometer works,
Seismograph,
right?
yeah. Yeah.
You understand how it works. You understand it's
I
got an inertial
posted
mass in
a
it.
picture in... Oh, I posted it in Wacom, sorry. Let me post it somewhere else, I guess. Live chat, maybe? Probably.
Live chat, yeah.
Yeah, I posted it here, and I also wrote below it this little nothing. So
Yeah, that's one
that's a
simplified picture.
very basic seismograph, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Blue, have you banned Mobius?
Probably.
He's a decent bloke, like what reason have you banned?
I don't know that I have banned him from in here, honestly.
He says he can't come in. I don't. I didn't think you would have banned anybody from this server. You know.
Are you the only mod here, by the way, or admin? Because if you are not, then it might have been someone else.
Oh, Blue, one final question I forgot. How silly of me. Did you detect any aftershocks?
I'm trying to detect the earthquake, much less aftershocks, they say.
So no aftershocks were detected.
As far as I know, I don't know not during the time of the test.
Okay.
It settled down after the initial event. It was much less of that sort of vibration than I've seen many times in the past when I've accidentally bumped the thing. And I elected because of that, because it was such a slight amount of up and down movement. I thought, what the hell, I'll just go ahead and run this thing. We'll go ahead and finish the test and see what the data looks like. And
I'm also wondering, because these waves are supposed to travel like all around the globe, right?
Yeah.
I'm wondering if there's any distance limit. You know what I'm saying? Let's say because I find it really strange that that's the only time you've ever picked up an earthquake. I find that really suspect and strange.
Well, I'm sure you do, SC.
Don't tell me you don't at least find that strange yourself. All these months and you haven't picked up anything. Just one earthquake. You don't find that strange?
No, I don't.
Wow, Blue. Wow.
Well, can you tell me how many 7.2 earthquakes have happened within 2,200 miles of Knoxville, Tennessee in that time?
Not right now, but I can research and find out.
Well, why don't you do that?
I probably will. Now, are you
Why don't
saying
you do that?
7.2 is the limit? Is the
No, I'm not
the
saying
minimum
anything of the
detection
sort.
rate?
That's your usual bullshit, SE. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying try to find an example of a large earthquake that happened anywhere around the vicinity while I was in the process of running a test. I don't sit out there and watch that thing 24 hours a day.
Yeah, but you had it going on for quite a while, taping it, hours and hours. I'm sure there was
Yeah.
earthquakes during that filming, Blue. Come on
Well,
now.
I'm sure there probably was. Why don't you find one? We'll look and see.
Okay, maybe I'll do just that. Yeah.
I think you ought to. I really do. I'm not going to waste my time doing it. I've never noticed it before. It just happened to be pretty obvious this time. Obvious enough that it was noticeable not only to me, but to people in the chat.
Well, I find that curious that being a man of science and seeing such a phenomena, you're not curious to explore it further? I find that really curious, really funny.
Why do I want to go look for something that didn't happen, SE? When I've not
Because you
seen it
freaking
happen.
spend months building something?
Well, when I've not seen it happen during any of the other tests, why do I want to go look for something that didn't happen?
You think it didn't happen. How about all those hours that you have video? Have you went back and seen maybe there was some movement another time?
No,
have you checked every single minute of every single tape you have?
Absolutely, I have, SE. I sat there right with it the entire time it was being videoed.
Oh, okay. Then I stand corrected. So this was the only time then that this has happened.
The only one. Yeah, the only time that I've seen this happen, I didn't do something that caused it. This is the only time I've seen that phenomenon. The only time when I couldn't attribute it to something that I did.
And you don't find that suspect during all those observations. It's only one time that this happened.
No, I don't find it suspect at all.
Okay.
Blue, can I have a simple question? Do you know when the Earth stops resonating or vibrating, whichever word you want to use?
During a seismic event? I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
No.
I'm not a seismologist.
In general, literally in general, whenever in history, when did it stop to vibrate?
It's always vibrating.
It's always vibrating. So, in other words, there is always seismic activity, right?
Yeah. As far as I know. I've never seen a perfectly straight line on one of those seismographs.
I didn't know you know that. Wow. That's great. So what's the base? What is the basic or the main difference in between an earthquake and the ever happening other vibrations?
What is the difference?
Yeah.
What are you asking?
What is the difference in between an earthquake and the ever-present vibrations of the Earth?
Oh, I don't know. You probably ought to go talk to a seismologist. I've already said I'm not one.
Well, I guess it's magnitude, right? I might be wrong, but as far as I know, that's what it means.
Yeah, the question is in your answer. One is an earthquake and one is not. Simple.
Jackie, I'm not sure you want to talk right now. So the difference is the magnitude. Magnitude, we know that word, right?
I'm listening.
So the strength of the vibration, in other words. Now, how did you rule out any other vibration? Then
I don't need to rule out
course.
anything. I don't need to rule anything in. I don't need to rule anything out.
How come?
It has nothing to do with the test I was performing.
But, you know, if you
It had no
acknowledged
effect
that
on it.
an earthquake had an impact, had an effect on your test or experiment.
No, it didn't have an effect on the experiment. It was visible on the laser. It had no effect on the results of the test.
So you are saying again that it didn't affect the weight itself.
I'm saying again, it didn't affect the measurement we were making, which was the torsion, the torque in the wire.
But why does it move, the torque? Why is it differentiating every second? What makes it move?
What makes the torque? The presence of another mass is what causes the torque.
Yeah. Yeah. And what happens if that mass gets an effect? A force applied to it?
Well, that mass didn't. That mass did not move any more than, I mean, a little bit. You could say everything connected to the Earth moved a little bit, right? But
No, it
any
vibrated.
movement of those large masses.
No, sorry, it vibrates all the time.
Okay, so
like
what?
We just went through that.
So what?
That the Earth always vibrates.
Okay, so what?
So how do you rule it out in order to measure anything regarding gravity?
They don't have any. That has no effect on the measurement, and the vibrations you're talking about are far too small to have any effect on anything.
It's way too small. The effect, you mean?
You're not changing the position of the large masses. You're not changing the relative position between the large and the small masses. And if you're not changing that, you're not changing the experiment.
What does the torsion actually do? Can you explain it to me? How is it connected to the weights?
How is it connected to the weights?
It is connected in any way. Yeah. Could you tell me,
hours
please?
and hours of video on this. You can go watch it on my channel.
Okay, so but basically they are connected to the torsion bar, right?
Small ones are, yes.
The small ones are. The big ones aren't. And what about the small ones? They didn't move either.
The entire torsion balance was swinging slightly like a pendulum. That's what we've seen before. But actually, you've got two pendulums there, so it's a little bit strange.
No, it's perfectly fine. Two pendulums is not complicated. It's just one more. So what I don't get is if everything is moving again, then how come the small weights didn't move?
Did I say the small weights didn't move?
Due to the earthquake, yeah.
Did I say they didn't move? I'm sure they did.
You said it didn't affect the measurement, but
no, it didn't.
I was telling you.
I was trying to. The wire.
Okay.
That's what I said. It didn't affect the deflection, which is the torque in the torsion wire. There's no effect on that. If the entire
but that's
thing
what
swings,
I asked. How is
if the entire balance swings, if the entire balance swings, one of the small weights moves a little closer to one of the large ones, but the other one moves further away from the other large one. All balances out. That's why you don't do it with just one weight.
Yeah. So it's based on the movement of the small weights, right?
Based on the rotation.
Torsion torque.
The rotation. Yeah. Not the swing. Not the front. Not the.
No, but the
not
torque is
in the y-axis.
Is based on that.
It's based on the torque.
Oh my. So again, the small weights affected the torque, right?
Wrong with it. What?
Do the small weights affect the torque?
Small weights are what are producing the torque.
So they are also affecting it, right?
Yeah. The attraction of the large weights on the small weights is what is producing the torque.
You can phrase it that way too, but directly looking at how it's put together, the direct force is coming from the movement of the small weights towards the torque.
Towards the large weights, yes. But only if it's a rotation.
Okay, okay. You can call it a rotating movement. It doesn't really matter.
Well, it does matter.
What I'm asking is, how come you rule out any seismic activity that will affect that rotating movement all the time?
We don't see any seismic activity that affects it.
Like
Only
10
that
minutes
one
ago,
time.
you agreed with me on the basic knowledge that there is always seismic activity. Even if it's very
And we don't
minuscule,
see.
there is always seismic
Okay,
activity.
it's always there. Right. Okay, I'll agree with that. Yeah, there is.
Okay, so how did it not affect whatsoever your weights?
It does not affect the twist, affect the turning of the torsion balance.
But that
Doesn't
one is
cause the
based on
thing
the
to
little
bend.
weights going and rotating, right?
It doesn't cause them to rotate. No, it does not. That's why
How
it
do you
doesn't make
know
any
that?
difference. I know physics, that's how.
Oh, so it's in the books, and that's why you say something in real life is really not connected. I mean,
No,
meaning the weights not connected whatsoever. Only those weights, by the way, your weights, your little weights, are not connected to any kind of vibration of the Earth.
I didn't say
That's,
that.
well, indirectly you said it, by the way. You said it that's how they
Why
work
do you guys
because you
like?
know
Why do you
physics.
guys like to play this game? I really don't understand it. Why do you like it?
This is really not a game.
It's just a bullshit game you're playing.
I'm gonna tell
You
you
know it, and I do.
something. In high school, I have learned elevated physics, so I had double hours, double classes for the last 2 years that I was in high school, and you know, we had a laugh of the Cavendish experiment for this reason that I am trying to tell you. In school, even in high school, they teach you that the Cavendish experiment was a great fail after they found out later on in history that there is always seismic activity within the
Oh,
Earth. So
you're just making things up now. I don't have to listen to this.
no, I am not.
You're just
Therefore,
making
you
up
cannot,
bullshit.
you cannot rule out what moves those weights at all.
No, you certainly can. You have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. You're talking out your ass now.
I really am not.
Oh, you are. So can you draw us a diagram and show us how earthquake affect the Cavendish
What
experiment?
you want me to make you content or what? By the way, I draw you a picture,
No,
Shaggy. I don't know if you remember.
explain yourself. How would the earthquake affect the Cavendish experiment?
Show it
Because of
to
the
us.
vibrations.
What does the vibration have to do with anything? Show it to us.
It moves around the objects where the vibration happens.
I want to see the diagram that shows us how that happens. What
Diagram cannot show movement because a diagram is one picture, and for movement you need multiple pictures. So you should ask for a
Well, then
video,
draw
by the way.
multiple pictures and show it to us. I don't think I believe a word you're saying, is what I'm telling you.
No, I don't think that you know anything of what I just said, or even understand it.
Well, nothing that you just said made any sense, and nobody ever told you anything like that. You know that as well as I do. Now,
What do you mean nobody told me? The one thing that I told you that I was told about it in high school, that didn't
I don't
happen.
know
Well,
who
okay,
taught it.
you can claim that. I have
You
no
got that
problem with
taught to
that.
you in high school. You really got cheated.
You are indirectly calling me a liar, by the way, which
Yeah,
I
I am calling you a
refuse.
liar.
Which I
Yes, no,
refuse.
I'm
Just to
directly
be on
calling you a
record.
liar. I'm directly calling you a liar.
Great, man. So
Anybody that will come in here and tell me that the Cavendish experiment has been discounted and disproven somehow
yeah,
or the other is obviously a liar. That has never happened.
it was
It's not
dismissed as a proof
It
for
didn't.
gravitational
Show us
force in
no,
between
no.
two
You show
masses.
me the citation that says Cavendish has been dismissed.
Oh
Was
my!
never a proof for gravity.
Exactly.
Yeah,
But that's what
the
you are doing.
measurement of
I
the
mean, Blue.
gravitational constant.
That's what
Gravity
that's what
is a
Blue is
fact.
doing.
Gravity is a fact. Don't need to prove it.
Okay, I
We
didn't have a
demonstrate it,
claim.
yes.
It wasn't me, Chucky. It was Blue.
No. You said it didn't prove gravity. It never meant to prove gravity. Maybe it demonstrates gravity. It measures the gravitational constant.
Exactly.
Oh my.
Cavendish didn't even do that, actually. His objective was not to demonstrate, it was not to determine the gravitational constant. He was determining the density of the Earth.
He was weighing the
All he had to do was 2 more calculations, and he had the universal gravitational constant. But at the time of Cavendish, that wasn't part of the Newtonian expression.
Again, I still don't get it. How you can claim that the Earth vibrates all the time, but it doesn't affect your small waves.
because you haven't drawn a diagram and explained why would those vibrations affect the forces involved.
Not the forces, the weights.
There are forces.
The masses.
No, we measure the forces between the small weights and the big weights.
By the movement.
That creates the torque.
By the movement.
By the twist of the torsion balance.
By the movement, exactly.
Not the vibration, the twist.
But we went through this like 10 minutes ago. I'm not sure if you understood it.
I don't think you understand what you're talking about.
What creates the torque again?
The attraction of the masses.
So therefore the movement of the masses, right?
Gravity of the masses is what causes it.
But that's movement.
How many are you? I'm trying to figure out how basic we got to go with this. Recognize that there can be 2 kinds of movement here. That we could have a linear sort of movement and a rotational sort of movement simultaneously. Really? You don't get that part?
Which part again? Because I'm really losing interest.
You don't understand that there can be a linear movement and a rotational movement simultaneously.
Okay, no problem there. Of course, there could be.
We're only measuring the rotational of this, not the linear portion. But why don't you get that citation that says that Cavendish has been discounted, because I really want to see that. Given that still doing this experiment periodically, and I'm not just talking about classrooms or high school, I'm talking about big-time physics labs. Somebody just did one not a year ago in Germany, I think, where they use those little tiny gold masses, the smallest that have ever been used.
I think you yourself disproved it by 2 different things. One is my opinion, the earthquakes, The other one is that you measured, and you supposedly, as I hear it from you, you're measuring all the time different G's, right? What makes those measurements different? To be different?
That's the way life is. There are random errors that
so
come
gravity
into,
changes.
No, gravity doesn't change.
Because
There are
as I
random errors
learned,
that
gravity
come
is
into
supposed to
the
be a constant.
measurement. Any measurements yourself at all on anything like this?
Again, gravity is a constant, isn't it? So why
If you
does it
would
change?
if you would expect to get exactly when you're trying to make measurements of this nature, if you really go into it expecting that you can just make one measurement one time and say that's the number, you're an absolute fool. Everybody
That you are
knows
right
that's
about.
not going to happen, and that's the reason why we run the test many, many, many times.
That you're right about, but what makes it to be different each time?
It can be a lot of different things. There are a lot of different random sort of errors that you can't account for.
But exactly my point. From the beginning.
Yeah. That will show up. If you've got a problem, you'll see that very quickly in the standard deviation in the test results.
Same deviation of what from what?
You know what a standard deviation is?
Oh my! Please, you know what?
Mind.
I do not. Please tell me.
Never mind.
You know what? I do not know what a standard deviation is. Please tell me.
Well, I don't think so.
It's
You're
one
not,
sentence.
You're not even qualified to be having this discussion.
That's it? At Hums? Well, okay.
I'm just telling you. You don't know enough to have this discussion. Go look up standard deviation, see what it is.
You're throwing around words right now, but okay.
I'm not throwing around words. This is a freshman level statistical variable. Look it up.
I only have a tip for you, like an advice. You should look into what makes those measurements to differ every time you measure it. That's the gist of it. The whole Cavendish experiment.
The 10 to the minus 11. That's what makes the difference.
That comes after the calculations, Jackie. I don't think you even
No,
know that.
that's the number you need to measure. That's the magnitude of the number. It's smaller than the smallest small you can imagine.
And what makes up those numbers? Where do you get it from, Jackie?
What does it matter from the measurements?
Yeah, how? Could you tell me?
So you're going to measure something that is very, 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 very 11 times very small.
Okay, what do you measure when you measure?
Gravitational constant.
No. That's the end of the calculation. What do you actually measure? Blue can tell me too, by the way, anytime. I'm all ears. I'm here to learn about this experiment.
No, you're here to try.
You're not here to learn.
That's what you're here for.
If you want,
yes,
you're
I
not
am.
here to learn bullshit.
Sorry, I'm
I call
asking a
bullshit on that.
simple
Bullshit
question.
flag. Where's your bullshit alert, Blue? You need your bullshit alert.
Oh, there goes the show, Blue. There goes the
Here
show.
we go. The intelligence level just went down. The stupidest Canadian just
What
talked.
does Blue actually measure?
Measure deflection.
That is created by what?
Which is a measure of the rotation of the torsion balance. Measure
that is created by what?
Deflection of that beam, which translates to a torque.
Okay, and is that a direct G that you get when you measure that?
Direct G. What do you mean a direct G?
Well, are you reading when you measure that a value for G?
I'm measuring millimeters of deflection.
So, Chaiki, did you hear that? He's measuring movement because it's length that he's measuring, millimeters, right?
Also measuring time.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oscillation
Thank you.
period.
Thank you, because Chaiki now learned something from you.
I'm
Great.
measuring.
You didn't measure movement, actually.
Jackie already knows this. I'm trying to teach you something. I'm measuring the oscillation period.
It's actually
the oscillation period.
Doesn't.
Listen, if I know
That's
if I know the oscillation period, right? of that pendulum. If I know what the oscillation period is, I can calculate what the moment of inertia of that beam is. If I know those two things, then I can easily come up with modulus of torsion of that device. Right?
Fucking great. What did I tell you, like, I don't know, half an hour ago?
Do you
Did
have
I
any
say
idea what I just
movement?
said? Fuck no.
Did I
Just
say
fuck no.
movement half an hour ago?
Just say fuck no.
And did you just say millimeters? One of the things that you measure is millimeters. Was I right? Half an hour ago already?
Translated to an angle of rotation.
Mate, I do know what you are doing. Again, I
Translated to
learned
an
it.
angle of rotation.
If you know what he's doing, why do you question his conclusions?
You don't know
Because
what I'm
he
doing.
obviously doesn't really know, and
He does
Chaiki
know.
obviously fucking don't know shit about what
He does
he's
know.
doing.
You don't even know how this experiment works. Have
No, he
no
doesn't.
clue. You never watched it. You don't know how it works, and you talk about it.
When did I say that I never watched it, by the way?
Claim you
watched
did
it?
it, right?
Watch it.
When did I say
Did you
that
ever
No,
watch
no,
it?
I'm
I did not
asking you now
watch it?
then.
Fine, we're asking you now. Did you ever watch
I
it?
did. I did.
And what?
Many times I looked into it.
And what?
It's
Have you
fucking.
done
It's
it? You claim you did it, right?
I claimed I did what?
You claimed you did the Cavendish in high school.
I claimed I did the Cavendish in high school. When did I claim that?
That's what you were talking about.
And what
You said
word did I use before I said the word Cavendish?
Okay, you said you didn't say you didn't say you did the
No, I
Cavendish
did
in high
not
school.
say
Okay, what
that.
did you do?
It's very
What did you do
interesting
then?
to me
No,
as
he
a
said
newcomer
they
into this
laughed at
whole
the
of this
Cavendish.
community that wherever I go and whoever I talk, people try to put thoughts, words, and sentences into my mouth all the fucking time.
No, he said they left at
Maybe if you pull
Cavendish.
that dick out of your mouth,
They
we could
left
understand you
it
better.
at high school because they
You must
realized
be
it
projecting,
somehow flowed.
Pianus.
Maybe you pull that dick out of your mouth and talk a little clearer. We could understand what you're saying.
It's interesting because I've been talking for like an hour. I've been talking for like an hour, and it seems like that I said something half an hour ago that Blue just said.
Well, I don't think so because the recording's been going for 52 minutes, so you haven't been talking for an hour, and I spent the first half of it talking to SC.
Yeah, you're right about that. Okay.
You get that wrong?
You wasted a half an hour talking to SC Montreal?
Yeah.
Wow. Did you get anywhere?
Nope.
Yeah, okay. Like I said, you
That's
wasted
what
a
I
half an hour.
thought. They're on a fishing trip. That's all.
Blue, you realize your show went down by 60% when a certain individual, he's going to speak right now, came in, right?
I don't really care. I'm not having a show. There's no show going on, SC.
Oh, okay, whatever. Let's just say the discussion, the value of our good discussion.
I see you wouldn't know a good discussion if it bit you in the ass.
I told you he would talk. He knows who he is.
You wouldn't know a good discussion if it bit you in the ass.
So whoever that was that was saying you've been talking for the last hour, I have a question. How much of that talking did you do with your mouth? Because from what I've heard, it was 100% out of your arse.
That's it. At hums. From two people right now.
Nice.
I'm making you very
I
angry,
can hear
right?
the smirking. I can tell
By the way,
that all you are doing
why
is
do you
trolling and
always
trying to
talk
wind
about
people
as
up, and everything you have
Okay.
said has come out
Sure.
of your arse.
Great, that you're making a great point, and it's very interesting that both of you are always talking about dicks and S's. Like, do you have a problem or what?
Is Sean Hawkins joining also?
What I mean is, you're talking a lot of shite.
Okay, cool. What's your point regarding the argument?
That if you shut your mouth and opened your ears and rinse the crap you've been talking out of them, you might eventually learn something. But as long as you keep sitting there smirking to yourself about how annoying you're being and deliberately dragging yourself back around in circles and pretending not to understand anything and droning,
At the
smirking to
moment, the
yourself,
only person
you're never
who's
going to
been
learn
annoying-
anything. And the kindest thing you could do,
Mate.
frankly, would be duct tape yourself to the ceiling.
The only person who's been annoying here at the moment is you. So do yourself a favour, go back on mute.
And anamorphic, like, do you have a problem? Like, are you frustrated in some way? Because I haven't heard anything regarding what we were talking about for like 40 minutes altogether. 40, 50 minutes. Because if you're frustrated, maybe look up a psychologist or something, but this is not going anywhere when you do this.
Is Sean Hawkins joining also?
Oh, and as you can see, the tactic didn't work, so maybe use a different one next time. Oh, I think I got everything, by the way. Anybody else wants to talk to Blue or anybody else?
You got everything.
Can I ask why Mobius is blocked? Blue. Mobius is a decent bloke. I hope it's not because he's got a really good LIGO argument. You wouldn't have blocked him because of that, would you? Sorry, banned him from this server.
I don't want Mobius on my server, period.
Okay. Is it because he's got a really good LIGO argument?
It's because he doesn't have a LIGO argument.
It's because he does. He has one of the best LIGO arguments.
No, he doesn't.
Okay, so that is the reason then, because of the LIGO that you've blocked.
No, it's not.
Mobius.
That's not all. That's not it. Okay. I don't owe you an explanation.
No. I'm just asking. I was just trying to clarify, because Mobius is all right. I can't imagine why anyone would have banned Mobius, other than him having a really good LIGO argument.
I banned him for coming on my channel and being very disrespectful to me. That's why.
Okay.
Was he more disrespectful than Paynas Ashil?
Very respectful of people who deserve respect.
Nice.
Okay. I think that answers your question, Buster, I think.
I'm very respectful of people who deserve respect. I don't know of anyone on the flat earth side of the argument who deserves respect, to tell you the truth.
Did you hear that, Blue?
It's true, especially you, SE Montreal. You deserve zero respect.
Did you hear what this newcomer nitwit just said?
Yeah.
I'm listening.
I treat you with all the respect you deserve, SE. You come up with half a decent argument, and I'll give you a little bit of respect.
Dude, where I come from, you know what we call guys like you?
Smart?
One slap guys.
Yeah, that's your modus operandi. Yeah, don't argue it. They just hit him. Yeah.
No. Guys like you who call people stupid, right?
Well, I don't have to.
Dumb and idiots, right? To their face. Now you're doing this over, you know what? But in real life, right? You'd be like a little cockroach. You know that?
If I call you stupid to your face because you are demonstrably stupid, sir.
You'd be like a little cockroach that you are. You would run and hide probably from your own shadow. Now, we all know that.
I would call you stupid to your face because you are.
We all know people like you that
stupid.
resort to name calling are gutless little worms.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Look who's calling. Okay, so that means you're a worm also because
So
you just
that's why
called me
we
a
used
name.
to call them one slap guys when they used to
Yeah,
get
well.
tough with you. You punch them in the head, right?
Oh,
And they would
punch. Yeah,
call
that's
the
a good way
cops,
to
right?
debate.
And they would call the police right away. I bet you that's what you would do.
That would be a good thing to do. Hit somebody. That shows that you have a good debate.
See, anybody who would say something like they did to me or any other time in this arena, I would kick them in the face and leave them there and then call the police.
Oh, Gamma.
Come on, these are
calling you
idiots on
fucking Gamma.
internet. These are idiots on the internet shouting at the monitor.
So here we are. We got WhatsApp. I got a whole brain trust here between WhatsApp, SE Montreal, Mishu.
Mate.
Where's Rocky? He signed in, but he's not talking. He's another brain truster.
Mate, you're
So
shouting
Blue, you've
at
been
the
around for
monitor.
years, right? That's all this guy does. Have you ever heard him have a conversation anywhere?
With people who know what they're talking about? Yes.
Where, Blue? With a flat earther or with one of us? Where have you heard him have a decent conversation? Go ahead.
I've recall a specific date and time, SE.
Of course you don't, because there never has been one.
Oh,
that's why.
There actually has. I normally attempt when I first talk to someone to discuss on an intellectual basis. I quickly found with you that you have no argument. Nobody has any argument. Bev, I actually tried to talk with Bev on a level above, but he doesn't understand it either.
You hear that, Blue? He's intellectually above all of us, and he just came into the argument 6 months ago.
It was longer than that now. See, your time reference is a little wrong.
So in my imagination, I would SC Montreal just admit that nobody has ever had a decent conversation with a flat earther.
No, not anybody. Him.
Again,
I specifically said paid NASA shill.
SE, again, you come up with half a decent argument and I'll discuss it with you. You have not come up with anything except your stupid double nutsack thing that proves that we live on a globe, by the way.
Nothing you say or have said to me so far gives me the slightest interest in talking with you, dude. All you do is insult people. When asked the question, you say, I don't know. Why would I explain that to you? Google it. That's what you do.
Exactly. SE.
You're a rude,
I'm not here to teach you.
Little troll.
I am not here to teach you.
That's what you are.
You are too stupid to understand the argument.
And trust me, everybody's on to your game.
Fine, whatever. I don't give a shit.
Can I point out as well the nutsack drop? That was mine.
Was yours?
Yeah.
Well, SE took it. I'm sorry, I didn't know it was yours.
No, I didn't take it.
No. He has the skateboard, right? The nutsack drop. Particularly, that was me.
Well, you understand that proves the globe.
That was
by the
Beb's, yes.
What,
I have
the nutsack drop
paradox.
proves the globe.
The skateboard paradox is a bullshit thing.
And the twin boat paradox.
The twin boat, that's the nutsack.
Can I just get
thing,
that?
right?
Did paid NASA shield? Did you just say the nutsack drop proves the globe?
Yes, it does. It's the same as the Bob and Carol, Ted and Alice thing.
The dropping water level proves the globe.
Proves the globe. All you have to do is finally get it into your thick skull that you're on a globe, and the nutsack drops off. The same as the Bob and Carol,
drop
Ted and
between
Alice
both viewers.
Yep, it's on the globe. SEB.
We have a boat. We have a boat on one
I
side
know
and
your
an
stupid
identical
arguments,
boat
sir.
on the other. They're
This is
5 miles apart, right? That's the twin boat paradox. And you're saying both people see a drop in between them, and that proves the globe, correct?
That's correct.
You heard it, people.
Your
You heard it.
observation.
Yeah, we heard it.
We have it on recording.
Explains the globe. Your observation is best explained by the globe. If you could get through your thick Canadian skull, that's probably been through too many freeze-thaw cycles, that we live on a globe, your observations make sense.
See, he can't do it without insulting. He can't say a sentence without insulting somebody.
By the way, Bill,
Not just somebody, you.
By the way, Bill, did you go yesterday to Winter Hill?
Sorry?
Did you go to Winter Hill yesterday?
Yeah. Yeah. Live streamed it on Discord.
Could you see Blackpool Tower?
Nah.
Not even Blackpool Tower?
Nah. But I mean, it's a better day today. If Ranty wants to go up there with his auto level and have a look, he might be able to. But I mean, I don't know. You'll have to get him to check. Has he got his auto level yet? If he wants to come round, I can meet him somewhere local if he wants to know how to set it up?
Well, I'm not connected with the renting, can't tell you.
Okay. Oh right, Chaiki. Yeah. Eye level picture. I get it. Yeah.
Yep, eye level. Actually, it will be, like I said, it will be higher than I drew it, because I just assumed flat Earth.
Sorry, could you say that again?
I assumed flat Earth. I didn't want to assume a globe.
That's not what you said. Oh, never mind.
Is Sean Hawkins joining also?
I said eye level will be higher than when I drew it on the picture.
Ah, thank you. Great.
Higher.
Will be higher, don't worry. I'm not scared.
You mean even higher than where you draw it, right?
Yeah, much higher. Because
Much
I
higher.
assumed the tower is 600 feet and it's only for 540. And I didn't take into account the drop due to the curvature, which is 357 feet. That makes the eye level about 3. It's 2.9 towers high. Almost 3 towers up. That's higher than where I drew it.
That's how perspective works, right? You look
Yeah, right.
farther away. You look farther away, and your eye level goes up the farther you look.
Things drop below horizontal, right?
Sorry, let me
No, but
finish
see,
the
everything
sentence.
gets smaller when it's away. It just doesn't drop. It gets like
No,
smaller.
let me finish the sentence, and it's coming from the logic of what just Chag said. So the farther you look, the eye level goes higher.
No.
Then why is it high?
Everything drops below your eye level.
Then why
Eye
is it
level
high
is,
again?
is a straight horizontal line, like Bev liked to say.
Cool. And where is it on a picture? On a photo, sorry.
Right where I drew it. Well, above it. The red line.
Paid nasty shell. Can I just clarify, right? The nutsack drop being a globe proof, is that on par with the sextant for the flat Earth proof?
Well, see, the sextant is also a globe proof, but you're too stupid to understand it.
Okay. So is the nutsack drop a better globe proof than the sextant is a globe proof?
No, actually, the sextant is a pretty good, almost perfect proof that the Earth is a globe. The nutsack thing is related to it.
Sorry, did you say an almost perfect proof?
Yeah, almost perfect, because, nothing's perfect.
Do you know what a proof is?
Yes. Oh, okay. So you can say proof, huh? Okay. How about demonstration? Do you prefer that word, sir?
Okay. So is the nutsack drop a good enough demonstration of the globe?
A nutsack drop is a pretty good demonstration of the globe.
So it's not a proof now.
Well, you see, the problem is that you're using the word proof, man.
No, you used the word proof. You said that the nutsack drop was a globe proof.
Hold on a second. Listen to me. I was speaking colloquially. If you want to be 100% scientifically correct, yes, it's not a proof. It is a demonstration. It's a pretty good demonstration of that.
Bad semantics on your part, then.
Semantics on my part, yes.
Bad semantics, I said.
You see, because when you say things prove, it's when you start using that word prove and you want to harp on that word prove, then you can say that you really can't prove anything true. But
of course you can. There's proofs in mathematics.
Yes, you can. You can disprove things. I can the sextant disproves that the Earth is flat.
Oh, okay. Well, I think you'd have a bit of a problem there. You should go over to Nathan Oakley's. I mean, he's.
Oh no!
It would be good for you to go over there because you
think
it's a proof of a globe, and they think it's a proof of a flat Earth.
Nathan kicks me and silences me faster than you do.
That would be great for you. You'd love it.
Nathan kicks me and silences me faster than you do, coward.
I've never kicked you or silenced you.
You did too. You silenced me.
Earlier when you were done though. You said you were done, and then you carried on just talking shite. Yeah, because you were talking shite.
I wasn't talking shit. I was talking truth, sir. You don't understand the difference.
It's okay. I'm done now. I've got the proof of the nutsack.
Demonstration again. If you want to use the word proof, you cannot prove things True.
So you can demonstrate the Nuxat drop for us then, can you?
Oh, definitely, yeah. It works on the globe every time.
What is your prediction, Bev? Where would the horizontal be from Winter Hill?
Where would the horizon be?
Horizontal.
The horizontals are all over the place, dude. They're all parallel. Like, what do you mean? Where would the horizontal be?
What's
when
that?
They put their instrument or you on Winter Hill and look to the Isle of Man, where would be the crosshair?
The crosshairs are inside the auto level, always.
Oh, yeah, we know.
Yep.
In the image, where would be the crosshair?
What image?
Would it be above the Isle of Man?
The crosshairs are
below
within
the top of
the auto level.
Sure, I know, Ben.
Yeah.
I know it's inside, but we will take a picture and we'll see the crosshair and we'll see things behind it.
Who, Ranty?
And where would the crosshair be?
Ranty, you reckon Ranty's going to go up to Winter Hill?
Yeah, I reckon he will. I reckon he will. Or maybe you will. I don't know. Where do you think the crosshair will be?
Well, I hope the crosshair stays at the working range of the auto level. But I mean, if you seem to think Ranty's going to take it up there, then that's where the crosshair is going to be. It's going to be up at the top of Winter Hill, isn't it?
I'm quite confident he will. But hypothetically, if Ranty went there and took a picture, where would you think the line of the crosshair be?
It would be inside the auto level.
Yeah, and I'm not asking where it is. I'm asking
very
in
literal.
The picture, in the picture.
Some people might call me autistic about these sort of things.
Yeah, you are. Seems to be a bit autistic. Because I'm asking, in the picture, there will be the line of the crosshair, and there will be other things in the picture, like
it's not a bad thing, is it?
Pike or whatever the name is. What do you think the line will be relative to the mountain? Above it,
so
below
it's only got a 32 times scope, mate.
That's okay.
Yeah. Do you think you can see 90 odd miles?
I know you can because we have a picture of it.
Okay. Yeah, with like a P1000. I know it's only crappy, right? I know it's one of the worst cameras, but it does have 125 times magnification zoom. The auto level, at best, if Ruhif has bought Ranty one of the best 32 times scopes, Bob doesn't have a 32 times scope, and neither does that guy from Maine. He doesn't have a 32 times scope auto level. I'm not even so sure if John, the Twitter troll, or Slice Barcane have got a 32 times scope. I don't know.
Well, that's enough to see
I know I do, and I don't know why you'd take it up a mountain, but I mean, you're not going to be able to see anything that far away, right? It's
what
ridiculous.
Do you mean? You can see a mountain from 90
Do you know where the working range of an auto level?
No. What's the working range of an auto level?
Well, they say about 80 meters to 100 meters, I suppose.
What do you mean working range?
I mean the range within where you can use it with its working range, right?
Well, no, I don't understand.
No. Obviously, you don't. You're expecting somebody to take one up the top of a mountain.
Yeah, because you
look out and see something 90 miles away.
Yeah, you will see something 90 miles away. Don't worry about it. I didn't say you'll see the people walking on the mountain, but you will see the mountain.
You reckon?
Sure.
Oh. Well, I hope he does. I really hope he gets this picture for you, Shaky. Is it you that wanted it?
Why don't you see people walking on the mountain through the 32 times scope?
Not enough. It's not about the magnification in this case. It's about resolution, right?
Give me a second here. I mean, be fair with me, right? We're trying to. He's using an auto level because he's trying to measure something, right?
But we know magnification is not all, Rakia. We have
I didn't
resolution.
mention magnification, sir. I mentioned an auto level trying to measure something. If that's why he's taking it up a mountain and looking 90 miles.
We're not even measuring. We trying to.
So he's not measuring with an auto level. What is he doing?
No, we don't. Not doing no exact measurements. We just want to.
What is he doing with it then, if not measuring?
He's seeing where the horizontal is relative to the mountain, above it, below it, the top. That's all.
So just an observation then.
Observation, yes. Right.
No measurement.
Not with this instrument, you can't measure anything.
Okay, fair enough. Oh, why didn't you say that the first time?
With the other light, you could measure. With this,
The other light, you could measure 90 miles. Could you see people walking on the mountain and measure them? Tell me how tall someone was with your angle from 90 miles away.
Yeah, didn't Larry measure some mountain from?
I'm not talking to Larry. I'm talking to you. Did you think that's possible?
Yeah.
You mentioned you've now moved on.
They measured the Everest from 100 miles away. So yeah.
They did.
Yeah.
So an auto level can't do it. So Ranty's just wasting his time. So he needs a theodolite, right?
You can't measure with the auto level. Auto level just show you horizontal. You have no angles there.
I don't know why you're doubling
No
back.
angle
So now we're on to the theodolite. Can you measure the height of a person on the mountain from 90 miles away, Chaiki, with a theodolite?
Probably not.
Why not?
It's not enough resolution.
What?
Not enough resolution.
So you're just taking an angle to a random point 90 miles away with no resolution.
However,
it could be distorted in many different ways, right?
However, with maybe half a meter telescope, you can.
So now we're moving on to a telescope. So forget the auto level.
Bigger aperture.
You say half a meter telescope?
Half a meter.
What's that?
I was going to go there, but so we're done with the theodolite then, right? We can't use that to do an accurate measurement over 90 miles, right? So now we're on to a telescope, half a meter. Whatever the hell that is.
A bigger aperture, Rakia.
Oh, aperture. More aperture you need to measure.
Half a meter.
Yeah.
So a telescope.
Jesus.
Wow.
Ruhif's not getting ranty one of those, is he?
1.5 mirror.
Those cost like 50,000.
This is getting too easy.
That's a big ass scope.
Let him keep talking, man. So we've moved on, right, Chaiki? First you mentioned auto level.
Telescope, Rakia.
So now you mentioned auto level. We're done with that. We know we can't measure with that. You've admitted that. Theodolite, no good, right? Can't measure with that 90 miles away. Now we're on to a half a meter telescope. Tell us how we're going to measure something with your telescope from 90 miles away, up on a mountain.
Take a picture.
Take a picture?
Mm-hmm.
And then do what?
Telescopes don't take pictures. Like auto levels don't take pictures either.
What?
You want to take a picture of the telescope?
With the telescope.
Let's just assume you can do that. What?
A telescope is just like your camera. Not
this. And not the telescope I have.
Yeah, it's focus
Maybe it's
line.
crappy. It's definitely not a 1 millimeter one.
Is Sean Hawkins joining also?
Carry on. You took a picture with your telescope, your magic telescope that you have. It's going to take a picture.
A half a
90
meter
miles,
telescope.
Half a meter.
Half a meter.
Now tell us how you're going to measure with that.
You measure the angle of the object in the picture.
So I'm on the mountain. You're taking the angle with your telescope by taking a picture.
I'm taking a picture.
Yeah, you took a picture and you're measuring the angle where?
The angle to you, your angular size.
From what? The picture?
From the picture, yeah.
Are you going to draw some lines on the picture first? Is that what you're talking about, Jake?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
And where do you measure?
I'm going to count pixels.
How do you get the angle? What's the angle?
I'm going to count pixels, right?
Oh.
So it's not an angle. Okay,
Yeah,
now I
okay.
get it.
Yeah,
It is
now
an
we're
angle.
getting there.
It is an angle.
But it's
Since I know
semantics.
the
Semantics,
sensor,
right?
Since I
We're
know
just
the
being
sensor,
semantic.
since I know
Yeah.
the sensor size, and I know how much pixel, what is the angular size of every pixel, I know your angular size by counting pixels.
Okay, I've heard that before somewhere. Now, Chaiki,
Probably for me.
how dumb do you think I have to be to dismantle your argument so quickly about an auto level and a theodolite? Now we're on to counting pixels on a picture. How dumb does that make you? I mean, I admit I'm dumb, right? I'm really dumb. I'll admit it right here. It's recorded, right? I am super dumb. But if I can dismantle your argument about the auto level and theodolite this quickly, and you have to move on to using a telescope 1 meter and take a picture through it and count the pixels to make a measurement now, 5 minutes later, how dumb does that make you?
I don't know, Turkey.
Don't answer it, sir. I'm done with this guy. ATP, you're next.
He done with me. However, I did it.
Is Sean Hawkins joining also?
Air transport pilot's license. Blue, you know anything about that? I had to look it up.
Really?
Yeah, I knew what it was when I looked at the definition, but I never really knew it was called ATP and CPT and ACDC and all that. I just thought they were bands. You know anything about the air transport pilot's license?
As far as I know, that's been the term for it for the last 40 years, probably longer than that.
Right. That's usually people who do what?
It's usually people who work for airlines, but not necessarily.
Right, it could be cargo or airlines or whatever, right?
It doesn't have to be cargo.
Right, but just it could be.
Yeah.
You think you would require yearly testing or flight hours to keep your ATP?
No.
I'm sorry?
No.
I couldn't hear you, broke up.
I don't think there is any requirement for yearly hours.
No yearly hours, no yearly fee to keep your license, just a one-time smack? Lifetime contract, right?
Yeah, that is. That's the way it works.
That's the way it works?
Yeah, it is.
You get a pilot's license to carry cargo in person, right? Work for an airline, and you don't have to have flight hours or pay a fee for that license ever again?
You don't pay a fee for a license over and over again. It doesn't work like that, Rocky.
Okay, so no flight hours?
There's a requirement. There are certain requirements, and I don't know what it is for an ATP, but there is a certain currency requirement.
So when you said no, there's no flight hours a while ago, you were talking out of your ass.
No, I'm being be a little more specific about that. No, there's no flight hour requirement to keep your license.
No flight hours to keep a pilot's license.
So there is no requirement for flight hours to keep a pilot's license, Rocky. Prove me wrong.
ATP. You can work. You can gain your ATP and work for an airline, and then quit. 25 years later, go get a job, and there's no flight hours required.
I did not say that either. I said that you do not lose your license because you don't have flight hours.
You're right, but to use the license, you got to maintain flight hours each year, right?
Need to meet certain currency requirements.
Okay, fair enough. Same argument anyway.
Just like you do with a private license, Rocky.
Right, exactly.
Like you do with a private license, you don't lose your license because you haven't flown in the last 30 years.
Right, but to go fly again.
Still have a pilot's license. You're still legal to fly. What you're not legal to do is carry a passenger.
Right, you would need another license for that and flight hours yearly, right?
You need another license? No, you don't. It's the same license. You don't get another license.
No, if you had an ATP to carry passengers, you couldn't just go hop on an airliner and say, "I'm gonna be your pilot today." You would need some approval, right? So maybe some flight hours.
I don't know what their requirements are. I haven't looked that up. I'm not an
There you
ATP, and I don't have to worry about it.
That's the answer I was looking for a while ago when you ran around it for some reason. All right, thanks.
Yeah, if you haven't flown in last 90 days or whatever, I think that's the way the rule is written for private licenses. If you haven't flown in the last 90 days, you got to do 3 landings to a full stop before you can carry passenger with you. That's all. That's all it says. 3 landings to a full stop.
Yeah, for PPL.
There's no such, well, you can use that term if you like, but it's not called a PPL.
Well, there's different licenses, different grades, right? Different elevations. You can't go like there's standards, right? I mean, there's even pay increases.
Paying people.
You get paid more if you have certain licenses, of course. Different qualifications.
You don't get paid as a private pilot.
That's why I was talking about different licenses. When you get into the ones that you do get paid for, the higher the license grade that you have, the higher your pay is usually. Right?
I wouldn't say so. What grades are you talking about?
There's even different grades of ATP.
What different grades are there?
I mean, I don't know. I have to go look to be totally accurate. There are different. Just like everything else. Yeah. At first seat, second seat. You know, you gain experience, get many flight hours.
Oh, there's a first seat, second seat thing in ATP, huh? Set up.
As far as I remember. I didn't realize there were so many different licenses. Confusing.
So,
Hey, Blue, have you heard anything on Rumpus's test? What's going on? Is he ever going to do it?
yeah, he's been working toward that for a while. It's a complicated test and hard to get all the people he needs together to do it.
Do you know anything about it?
Huh?
Do you know anything about his test?
He said about hopefully within the next 3 weeks.
Yeah, do you know anything about the test, as in what he's doing?
He's basically doing the Bedford level test.
Well, that's where the problem. Like, Robotham was in the water at 8 inches above the water.
Rumpus, and he's not going to be doing that.
Is he?
He's not going to do that.
So it's basically not that then. It's not basically the same. Do you know what he is doing?
It is basically the same. He's just not going to do it at 8 inches off the water.
Right, so what's he doing then?
He's doing it higher off the water.
Okay. How much higher? Do you know? He did show a thing like miles up in the air. It was higher than a mountain in the picture that we showed earlier.
Miles up in the air.
No, he'll be observing from a bridge.
Okay.
How high is the bridge above the water?
Don't know. Is that you'd be measuring that, right? You imagine.
Measuring what?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. And then what's he doing?
Then you have poles along the canal.
Along the canal?
Yeah, which you will measure how high.
Along the side of the canal, not in the canal.
No, not in the canal, inside, yes.
So he's got poles at the side.
As I understand it, he's going to set all those targets at, 2, 4, 6, and 8 kilometers or whatever, at the same elevation above the canal.
Okay, so he's
at the
using...
same, or he will know the difference between where he is and the target is. He will measure the difference.
Okay, how is he measuring? How is he measuring the height of the things above the canal? Do you know that?
You need to ask him.
Yeah. Okay, I'll remember.
He's physically measuring it, as far as I know.
Okay. Do you know with what?
Physical measuring device, I would assume.
Okay.
With the level, I guess, and measuring tape or something.
I'm not up on the exact details of how he's doing that part of it.
How's he checking that
the
water's level?
At the end, he's going to do the part that you're afraid to do.
Yeah.
How's
he checking that the water's level?
Do you need to check that the water is level? Huh? No?
Look, we don't need to use a water level to prove water's level.
No, I was just checking. Level. Like you said, he's using the water to measure up physically. How's he checking that the water's level?
Well, if the water is not level, something is wrong with the world, okay? You accept water is level.
It's not sloping though, right? Or is it?
You think stagnant, non-running water in a ditch is not going to be level?
Sloping, you said, right?
I didn't say it was sloping. You're the one that said that.
No, you're the one that said the water level slopes.
I didn't say that.
Yeah, you did.
Water.
Bullshit, Bev.
But you think you've never said that the water level slopes away from the auto level?
What do you want to talk about now? Do you want to talk about horizontal versus elevation versus horizontal?
I was just asking how you think Rumpus has measured the water being level, or the slope.
He's not measuring the water being level.
Oh, now you're gonna question whether the water's level or not. Okay.
No, I'm just asking if Rumpus has done anything for that, or he's just assuming that the water is level.
How are you going to prove the water's level, Bev?
I don't know. I mean, I was just asking.
It's an axiom, Bev. Water is level.
You tell me, how do you prove the water is level?
Well, you'd have to say what level is first, right?
Yeah, let me just
you would have to
save
define level
by explaining the particular
first.
flavour of bullshit Bev's talking here. What he's trying to do is conflate the level surface of the water across the canal with the fact that the level surface of water at a vast distance, like out in the Irish Sea or something, as seen from a mountaintop, is not perpendicular to vertical at the observer's location.
Don't confuse yourself, mate. I was just talking about the test that Rumpus is doing and the canal.
The whole point of running the Bedford Levels thing is that you are demonstrating the curvature of level.
Oh, I see. So the idea of the test is to show that your water level slopes away, and you're going to use measurements from the water to look at something.
Charlie, Uniform, Romeo, Victor, Echo, Delta. Curved. Not sloping, curved.
Nice.
Level, but curved.
Sloping away then, right?
Curved.
Military man, are you?
Yeah. Go on. Do you want to count those as you're doing it, or it's a slope, right? You're saying Rumpus is going to measure from the water.
It's curved.
Okay, right.
I
So
even
Rumpus
spelled
is
it out for you. I literally spelled out the word curved for you.
I know. You like it? It sounds like
Did
it.
you try writing it down one letter at a time while I was doing it? Do you want me to do it again so you can have a go?
Go on, then. I know you like saying it. Go on. A few more times. You can't wait, eh? Ranty going up Winter Hill with an auto level. He'd be able to do all of this stuff for you. He'd be able to go to the beach at Blackpool and Southport. Go to that little special place with cats again. Be able to do all of this stuff. I bet you can't wait. You could have come and watched us, live anytime we were doing it.
What's the name of his new channel?
Flirspective.
Flirspective. Okay.
Yeah.
That's it. Maybe he already had pictures.
Do you know what that is? Do you reckon he might already have his auto level? Well, I hope so.
Why don't you beat him to it, Bev? Get yourself up Brownclea Hill. Set up a water level and take a photograph through it towards Lord Seaton Mam Tor. And then go and set yourself up on the east side of Lord's Seat at the exact same elevation as the summit of Brownclea Hill. Set up a water level there and take a photograph through that back to Brownclea Hill. Same elevation, something like 100 kilometres apart. Should be good.
Did you
get there before
you just
Brownclea?
ask me to go up a hill with a water level? Have you guys got this some sort of weird fetish of taking levels up hills?
Yeah, what's up with that, man? What's with the mountains and you guys and water levels? What is that?
Actually, I don't expect you to do that. I expect you to sit there and spout off like you think it's utterly ridiculous to ask you to actually bother to make any effort to check anything at all yourself.
Water level up a hill.
He was there yesterday.
No, it's all right.
Can I ask y'all
we don't do anything. It's all right.
Yeah, he was there all day long the other day.
They talk shit all the time about us, right? We know people lie about us and say we don't do anything.
Over Nathan Oakley's live streams doesn't count as research, Bev.
Sorry, wait a minute. Who's that? Who is that that's talking there? Who was that? Anyone know? Are they going to be brave enough to talk up?
Doug? Yeah.
Dog, you're fixing to get taken to the woodshed, sir, for that comment.
So, you say that we don't do anything and we, research Nathan Oakley, do you think?
You've just admitted that it's too much to ask you to take a water level of a 400 or 500
No, I just said it's fucking stupid to take a water level up a hill.
You didn't say stupid. You said something about fetishes. But
yeah, I said, what's your fetish of taking levels up hills? You do realise that for measuring elevation changes, and they have a working range.
What's a hill?
No, we don't.
Go on, then. All right, genius. Explain to us exactly what limits the working range of an auto level or a water level.
For elevation changes, it's normally your rod that you're using,
your
measuring
not
rod.
Elevation changes.
Yeah,
what limits the working
the
range?
Elevation changes, you dickhead.
So the limit to the working range is an elevation change.
Well, how
it can't be used to measure anything more than what?
How far do you
12
think
meters,
you
13
can
meters,
get if
14
you
meters?
walk away from an auto level at the top of a mountain? How far away can you get with your measuring rod so you can still see the top of the measuring rod?
To what accuracy, Bev?
I can walk fucking miles away from a auto level at the top of a mountain. I've walked most of the length of Austria. Did take 19 days
with a measuring rod.
However, you don't need to see the measuring stick to see
it's
the
a
mountain.
vital component of the auto level.
Yes,
no, it isn't. It's not in the auto level. It's a separate device. If you're going to say 4 times or 5 times, however many times it's been, that the crosshair is in the auto level rather than answering where it is in the photograph, I'm going to tell you the stick is not a component of the auto level. It's a separate object carried by a separate person. And you don't need to see the stick to see the fucking Great Mountain. You can see Mount Bloody Everest from a very long way away in an airliner that's flying high enough without being able to see the individual climbers on it. You can still see the Bloody Great Mountain.
But you can't measure anything.
In the Catskill Mountains.
Therefore, it's useless.
You would be able to see Mont Blanc because it is a sodding huge mountain. You wouldn't be able to see the Eiffel Tower, which is closer, but you'd be able to see Mont Blanc because it's huge.
Hey, cog this. Calm down. take a breath, and if you want to talk about observations, there's plenty of people who will do that with you. We're talking about measuring.
Yeah, to what accuracy again?
But
I'm talking about
to the millimeter.
I've never used
Well,
the
we
millimeter
don't.
level.
Well, we don't care
Millimeter.
about millimeter. We care about tens of feet.
You don't care about millimeters.
No, we don't care about millimeters. Tens
Where are
of
you
feet.
getting tens of feet looking over
Tens
100
of
miles?
feet in Africa. Sure.
You don't know what you're
Sure,
measuring.
you can. Did you see?
How are you measuring 10 feet when you're not measuring?
Here, I'm telling you. You see Beeble's there.
pointing at a mountain,
See
sir.
Beeble's. You see Beeble's for life pictures. He has a measuring.
You're really
rod.
going to use B-ball as a measuring?
Yes, you have.
Nothing B-ball has done has measured anything.
Listen to me.
So
He
you might
has-
want to move on. You're
Listen to
wasting
me.
time here.
Quit your shouting.
You're
You get to
has-
listen for once in your life.
Yeah, can I talk?
Hey,
Be a
hey,
good Christian.
you're
Let me
obnoxious.
talk. Let
That's
me
not a
speak.
measurement. Chaiki is talking about B-ball who has never measured
Sure
any
did.
drop from horizontal.
Sure did. So he has a measuring rod, which is accuracy is one floor on a building, whatever it is. 10
That's not how
feet,
it works.
10 feet, 12
Dude, you
feet.
do not use
And you can-
buildings as measuring
Oh,
rods.
sure you can, Ben.
No,
That is
you
not how it
can't.
And that's your accuracy then.
No, that's you proving how stupid you are
No,
to
that's
everyone
the
who knows
accuracy
anything
you're
about how you
measuring.
use a measuring rod. A story
I
pole,
don't care about
a stick
millimeters.
in your case. So what you did was make a mark on a building, right? Then measure one floor as 12 feet, and then shoot a horizontal over 15 miles over water and say, oh, look, 30 feet is missing? Is that what you did, Chaiki?
Much more than 30 feet is missing.
Oh, so 40 feet. How many feet are you talking about?
Rakia.
As we see, a lot, pretty a lot.
Oh, a lot. So you don't
How
know how
big
much.
is-
You just know it was missing.
You see
And
the
because-
horizontal is at the
because
top of
story
some
pole
building.
that he has is so many feet. When he's using it properly, you can measure it. But when looking 15 miles over distortion over water, you're the ones who tell us you can't do that.
Yeah, we
And you're
wouldn't
going to
be.
use B-ball. You're going to use B-ball right now. You're wasting time.
Yes.
He's
We
taking a long
wouldn't
distance.
be accurate. We wouldn't be accurate
taking
to
a
the
long distance
millimeter. We will be
observation.
accurate to 12
Long distance
feet.
observation over water. That's all he's doing. He's using an auto level as a telescope. He's not measuring anything. Story.
Why? Here's a measuring pole there.
No, observed a building
No,
in the
measuring pole.
no
With
long
no,
distance.
with no distances
15 miles
between the lines. What are
Show
you
me a
talking
number.
about?
How do you know those buildings aren't compressed or stretched? The floors. I can see the floors at the bottom that are compressed. Who's to say that the
Are you
floors
sure?
up above
Show
aren't
me that, okay.
magnified?
Show me
Oh,
that any
please.
difference
I
from
need to do
the
something for
floors up.
you. I need to do something for
No,
you to
yeah,
prove
because
compression.
you made a
So
claim.
you
and
deny
all that you can.
science. So you deny science.
Yeah, rumpus me now.
You
Yeah,
deny
yeah.
compression.
I don't deny compression. I want
You
to
just
see it.
did.
I want to see it in.
You've
in
never
Beeble's
seen
pictures.
compression before.
I want to see it in Beeble's pictures.
Have you ever
right
seen
there.
it before?
I've seen
Yes,
it.
I
I've made a
have.
video
Okay.
demonstrating it. Now, where is it in
Yes, but
Beeble's
we're not
picture?
talking about measurements now. We're talking about optics,
I
right?
saw
Is that where y'all
stretching.
want to go? So
Right,
not
I saw
measurement then.
stretching and
Optics.
compression.
So not measurement then.
We can measure shit. We can measure shit in centimeters or inches or
Yeah,
freaking
not over
width of a
15 miles over
standardized
water,
grape. We
dickhead.
don't need to use your
Not
measuring pole to do
15
it.
miles over water at low observation point, dickhead, as you called me.
I wasn't talking about 15 miles of water. I was talking about
Chaiki is.
100 kilometers over land when Bev said that's beyond the measuring limit of the device. And I
100
still haven't had an answer as to what limits the measurement ability of that device.
You have a device that measures 100 kilometers over land? What device are you using?
I'm not trying to measure the distance over land. I want to measure the drop.
I didn't ask you the distance. I asked you, do you have a device? Do you, dickhead, have a device that can measure 100 kilometers over land? What's the name of this device that you own?
It's your mum. That's how far I fuck her in a week.
Yeah, that's what I
Now,
thought.
Bev,
There you go. There you
if I
go.
set up a water level on top of
So
Lord
you're a
Sea,
child and
then
you
look
don't
at-
have a device. You
Yeah.
lied, right? So you don't have a device. See, I can
Actually, I
turn
do.
around right now. See, oh, okay. Well, what device? What's the name of
The
it?
device I use to measure distances. Now, Bev,
What
as I
is
was
the
saying,
name
if
of
I-
it?
Dude, shut it.
What
Bev,
is the
if I set
name
up a
of
water
it?
level on top of Brownclea Hill, looking at Lord
What
Sea,
is the
or on top
name
of
of
Lord
your
Sea,
device?
looking at
What's the
Brownclea
name
Hill,
of it?
and look through that
What is
device
the name of it?
at the other mountain,
I think you're
what
lying. I think you
limits
don't
my
have
ability
one.
to measure the
I think you're
angle
wasting our
between
time.
eye
You don't
level
have a device that
and
measures
the
100
summit of the
kilometers
line to
over
the
land.
summit of the other mountain?
Do you? Aren't you lying?
Bev, you there?
Prove me wrong. What's the name of your device? We want to all go out and buy one.
Bev,
You see, liar.
calling
You
Bev.
see,
P900, P900.
Let him answer the question.
you see,
Rocky.
liar.
Stop it, Rocky.
Okay, what's answer the
Yeah,
question,
relax.
everybody? What
Be a
device
good-
do you
let him-
want?
Be a
let
good
him answer
Christian.
it.
Rocky.
Earth calling Bev. Earth calling Bev.
Earth
Do you
calling
read me?
dickhead
Bev.
that claimed he had a device that measured 100 kilometers over land. What is
Like,
the
nobody
name
cares about you and your pathetic
of your
attempt to intimidate
device?
me from the
That's
far
a
side
fair
of the fucking
question.
Atlantic, moron.
That
You
is a
see,
fair
liar.
question.
You see,
Bev,
liar.
if
I can
go
turn
up
around right now and
Brownclea
take a
Hill
picture
with a
of
water
all
level,
my
and step
leveling
to the
devices
summit
that I
and
have
take
in
a
my truck.
photograph
You, on the
of
other hand, can't take a
Lord
picture of
Sea
any of your
Mountain through it,
devices because you
go
don't
up
have
Lord
any.
Sea
Stop
with a
talking
water
over him.
level
I'm
and
gonna
set it
mute you.
up and take a photograph through it of Brownclea Hill, I assert that using that photograph and measurements taken at the time, I can measure the angle between horizontal line of sight, that is horizontal at the center of the water level, and line of sight from camera, very close to the water level, to the summit of the opposite hill, or to equivalent
Congratulations.
location.
Great story. Now
You
show
said
us,
that
tell us
this
what
can't be
device you use.
done because 100 kilometers is beyond the measuring limit of an auto level. I think you were talking about. Actually, I was talking about a water level, but
How
never
many
mind.
questions
I'm
have
not
I
work.
asked?
Working limit.
I've asked this
Working
guy
limit.
one
Thank you. It's
question,
working
and you're
limit.
going to allow him to just keep
I want to
rambling on
know
and not answer.
what makes you think, or what you think, prevents any such device from being used to measure that angle, or limits the accuracy of the angle that a device can measure, or limits the range at which the device can measure an angle down to a particular size.
It would be better if you answered our one simple question before you go and ask like 20. What device did you use to measure 100 kilometers over land with accuracy? The question still stands, sir.
Also, where can I buy it? I would like to
Yeah,
know.
no, just name the device. I'll find out where I can buy it.
Yeah, okay.
Name what device you own, sir, that does this.
A length of plastic pipe that you can bend into a U shape.
Is he going to answer? Or maybe
No.
we just let him ramble on 15 more minutes about what he theorizes he can do if he had a device.
Rakia, a piece of plastic tubing, open at both ends, partly filled with water. That's all you actually need.
I agree. So what device does he
To
have?
measure level.
So what device does he have?
Well, I'm assuming that he can
No,
manage
Sam,
to
screw
take
that. That's a waste of
piece
time.
I'm assuming he can manage to take a piece
I'm
of
assuming
plastic
he's not going
tubing
to answer because I was right. I'm just going to assume I'm right. Is that fair? That he doesn't have a device that does this. No one does with accuracy. You know why? You know why I know that? Because I can personally turn around and take a picture of, well, actually I can't. I only have one of my devices in my truck. My other crew has my other one. Of devices that I actually do use on a daily basis that create horizontal lines that are extremely accurate over distance. The distances they're manufactured for, nowhere near what he's talking about. Matter of fact, the manuals tell you not to use them over those distances, especially at low level in the atmosphere. Anybody want to rebut that?
Yeah,
But
what
I can
operation
go-
is that maximum range for?
Thorn, EMI, search water. Now shut your filthy mouth and let Bev answer the question if he can. Bev,
Yeah, that's all you have.
what
You're
is
going to
the
ask Bev
limiting
another question?
factor on the use of an auto level or water level to measure the angle between horizontal line of sight through the center of that level and line of sight from a camera near the level to a hill 100 kilometers away.
So you mean after 5 minutes after Rakia asking you a question, maybe 10, been sitting here waiting for you to answer, you're going to skirt that question?
Rakia's deflecting. The
No.
distance does not have to be measured accurate to 1 millimeter. The height
He
of the
had the
device
simple
does not have to be
question.
measured accurate to 1 millimeter. The height of the target.
We do.
does not have
I
to be measured
require 1
accurate
millimeter
to
accuracy.
1
I do.
millimeter.
Me. I do. Whenever I'm using an auto level, I require,
a 1 millimeter
accuracy.
Yeah, me too as well. I need to be accurate as well. I use these tools daily as well. Do you, dog?
To answer your question, before you carry on and answer Rakia's question, an auto level doesn't measure angles, vertical angles at all. So, none. It just doesn't measure angles with any sort of accuracy, especially vertical angles.
That is true, Bev.
So now you can answer Rakia's question. Now that I've answered one of your questions,
I can still take a photograph through an auto level and work out what the angles are. But you know.
Alan, I'd like to ask you a question.
No, wait a minute.
After Rakia, of
I was
course.
giving him a chance to answer, the other guy, to answer Rakia's question. But, I mean, you could take a picture of a device that doesn't measure vertical angles, and you think you could get a vertical angle out of that, do you?
Anyone who passed mathematics at age 16 can get a vertical angle out of that with enough data.
As long as I know the angular field of view of the optic in the auto level, yes, I can.
And what are those small stadia marks for?
Stadiometric range finding.
Yeah, what is the angle in that optical device that they mark at?
It's a relationship between the size and the distance.
Yeah.
Which gives you an angle, correct?
That's a confession.
I didn't realise that the graphical in an auto level actually had stadia marks on it. If it's got stadia marks on it, even easier.
Oh my.
Oh man.
Do I have to say it again? An auto level does not measure vertical angles.
You can say it as many times as you like.
Yeah, he said it enough times. So, what device did you use?
Hold on, you can say it as many times as he likes.
Yeah,
what
he said it many times.
What are those small stadia marks inside
We
the
heard
auto
you.
levels? What are the small stadia marks inside the auto levels reticle for?
Stadiometric range finding.
So he's answered another one of your questions. Are you going to answer
Do
mine?
they have a particular angle that they are marked at in the optical device?
No, a ratio of 1 to 100. Now, can you please answer Rakia's question?
Another question
So
answered
rise
very
over run,
precisely
right?
and quickly.
This is a one-way street, yeah.
So rise over run,
How's
right?
he getting the answer? Ask more questions, Blue.
Hold on. So rise over run, right?
No.
1 to
Can
100,
you please answer?
Another question.
1 to 100 is rise over run, right?
No.
Why not?
Oh. Dude, can you please stop asking questions and answer one question that Raki has asked you a long time ago?
For real, this is a joke. This is a joke, man.
I mean,
You think you're going to get away with just asking us questions?
Fine, but what we're going to go ahead and explain to everybody else in the audience is that stadia, the smaller stadia marks, are at a particular angular measure within the reticule of the auto level.
Yeah, and
saying
I
that
have to
they're
cut
not.
my grass.
It's
Yeah, it's
saying that
a
they're
little bit
not
long.
is
How
just a
about Rakia's
bastardization.
question?
They're
Saying
just
that
a
they're not is just a
distance. They
bastardization of
are
how auto
on a
levels
sheet,
I
a
think
film
the
of
tree
plastic.
needs trimming.
They are
saying that
two
they are not in
lines
at a
either
particular angular
side
measure
of
is
the
a
thing. There's not
bastardization
an
of the auto
angle.
level itself. Anyone who knows what an auto level is does not get to make that claim.
Dude, have you got an auto level?
I do.
Right. Have you used that for stadiometric range finding?
I have.
Right. Did you ever use an angle? Or was it a direct proportionality of the measurement of the distance or the height for the distance that it is away from you?
What do you think that is? That's trigonometry. That's rise over run.
No, it's not. It's stadiometric range finding.
How do you find the range? How do you find the range?
You find how many stadia fit within those. That
if I draw a triangle, then I can make it a triangle. It's stadiometric range finding.
That is being covered in between there, and how far it covers the stadia, or how many stadia it covers. You figure out how far away that
You guys
thing
are
is.
a joke here, Blue.
So it has.
Big time. What's the
an
next question? The
angular
color of your
measure
hair? Hey, what color is
in
your
it,
hair?
And you just deny that that's what it is.
Yeah, yeah, and Doofus, if it's got stadia marks on the gratical, I don't even need to know the bloody angle. I don't even need to know the angular size of the image that you see through the thing, because I've got a known angle marked inside the graphical.
There's a direct ratio of 1 to 100.
I can work
usually.
out how far below the center graphical something far away is.
And what this ratio represent, Bev? Let's see if you know.
It's a ratio of the proportionality of the distance or the height of an object for the distance it is away. But you need to have a measuring device in the range finder.
Can we set a number to how many more questions Bev is going to be asked and answered before my one question gets answered?
It's the height of an object divided by the distance to the object. Is that what you're saying?
It's just 1 to 100, Blue. Very simple.
1 over 100
you measure a distance in between the stadia hairs, and you times it by 100.
Tangent of a small angle. Bev, 1 over 100 is the tangent of a small angle. Those marks are at a known angle apart.
You take a measurement in the distance, times it by 100. That gives you the distance it is away. Very simple.
Yes, because you know that ratio, because you know that ratio is the tangent of a known angle, which is marked by those stadia markings in the reticle.
Yeah. And your target has to be at a known fixed size for it to work.
Yes, it has to, because it's a proportionality, 1 to 100.
The tangent of the damn angle.
Yeah, do you know what this angle is, Dan?
No, like I say, I'll
You
say it
don't
again.
know what
You
this angle
look
is.
through the site, you measure, you actually look at the measurements on the staff, and then you times that distance in between the stadia hairs by
So
100,
you don't know what this angle
and
is.
that will tell you how far away the object
so you don't know what this
is.
angle is, right?
It doesn't need the angle.
No, you don't
it's a very
understand
simple.
what he's saying. Listen to what he's saying about the stadia hairs, what they're there for.
No, they're not going to get it spot on because they're after doing their little tangent angle thing.
And what are they talking about tangents for? I mean, what's that got to do with what's it got to do with a tangent? I mean, where's the circle? Right? Just drop that and just get back to the reality.
It's an isosceles triangle anyway, so you haven't got your right angle.
The opposite.
Right, you understand that, right?
Adjacent sides of a right angle triangle.
Yeah, 1 to 100, not 1 to 50. It's an isosceles triangle.
Bev, you're a moron. Kindly shut
Yeah.
up and listen for a while so you can advance to idiot.
Congratulations.
him
What
a
device did you
moron.
use to
The
look over
ratio
62
of the
miles?
opposite to the
When
adjacent
he's just
sides of a right-angled triangle. It's the
Yeah,
tangent
what device did you
of that
use to
point.
measure over 62 miles?
If you are looking
What device
at a
do you
pole
own that
perpendicular
measures
to the length
62
of
miles?
that pole, and you are looking at one of the marks on that pole, perpendicular, then there will be a right angle at that mark on the pole. And the distance from that mark to the next mark, divided by the tangent of the very small angle they subtend in your field of view, will be the distance from you to the first mark on the pole. That's a right angle triangle. If you're looking exactly halfway between two of those marks, you get an isosceles triangle.
Isosceles, yeah.
Where where half
Yeah,
the
the ratio of
between
1
them
to 100 is
divi-
the
divided
proportionality
by
of the isosceles triangle.
the tangent of half the angle subtended by the distance between those two marks will be the distance between them. But it's still a tangent, and it's still trigonometry, and you still don't understand.
It's not about the tangent, it's about the proportionality for the size of
The tangent
the object in the
is
distance
the
that is
ratio
directly relatable to
you
the distance it is away.
The tangent is the ratio, Bev. The tangent is the ratio. That's the definition of the tangent of an angle. It's the ratio of the length of the opposite to the length of the adjacent sides of a right angle triangle.
It's 1 to 100.
That's what a tangent is.
1 to
it's
100.
1 to 100 in that specific example, because
it's
in
an
that specific
isosceles
example,
triangle.
that specific stadium mark is set at a
So
particular
that 1 to
angle
100
whose tangent
isn't the
is
relationship of a
0.01.
tangent, is it, you dickhead?
It is 1 to 100 in that specific example, because in that specific example, you are using marks which mark an angle of 0. Whatever it is that has a tangent of 0.01, which gives you that ratio. The tangent is still the ratio of opposite to adjacent of an angle. That is where
I know
where
what
those
a
marks are
tangent
set,
is.
angle apart.
Yeah,
Of course you
tangent
do. I've
is
just
the
explained
opposite
it. You'll
over the
forget within the next 30
adjacent.
seconds because you're as thick as pig shit. Meanwhile, you still haven't
yeah.
explained what limits the working range of this device.
How far
stop
you
me-
can measure 1 millimeter is what my working range is. I've
What if I'm
tested
not
it.
around the
What
world
did you
down to
get
1
for
meter?
your test? How far
How do you
was
do
your
that?
working range?
How are you using that when you've got a pole that's marked in centimeters?
Very good, Blue. Very good. Now, can we ask the other guy what is your working range for your auto level?
Depends what accuracy you want, doesn't it?
Well, that's
If
what
you
I
only
said,
want
a
to
millimeter. That's why I specified I like to use 1 millimeter. Right? What is your working range of accuracy?
Why are you specifying something you can't measure?
Of course I can measure a millimeter,
own
Blue, you
definition.
dickhead. Don't be saying I
says you
can't
can't
do
measure a
it.
millimeter?
By your own definition, you're claiming millimeter accuracy, and you're using a device that's not marked in millimeters. How the hell are you using?
No one said he was measuring it with that, you dickhead. Now, will that other guy answer one question? Bev asked him one just now. What is his
dickhead? You shut the fuck
accuracy?
up. I want
What
to
is
answer
his
to my
accuracy?
question, dickhead. Fuck
Yeah, he's
up.
going to answer you. Don't worry. Believe me, this is what we've been trying to get to. But y'all won't listen long enough.
Answer
You
the
think you're
damn
too
question,
smart.
Rock. Yeah, I'll overtalk
Yeah,
you.
you
just
think
like
because a
overtalk
story
everybody
pole
else. I can do that.
isn't
In
measured
fact,
in
I've got a
millimeters, you
better
can't
idea.
measure in
I can
millimeters.
beat your
How
ass.
dumb do you have to be?
What's wrong with you, you dumb son of a bitch?
How dumb do you have to be to say because a story pole isn't marked in millimeters, you can't measure
Not
in
marked in
millimeters?
millimeters. And you're talking about
No
millimeters.
one said it was.
Using a pole that's not marked in millimeters. What
No
the fuck
one
is
said it
wrong with you?
was, Momo.
What is wrong with you?
What if you use something else? Can you measure in millimeters? Can you be millimeter accuracy if you measure with something else, Blue?
Show me a story pole marked in millimeters, please.
No one said there was one ever. Go on and find out where we said. Go on and find out where we said we were going to measure it with.
How you think you're going to do that?
Hey, will you be quiet long enough? Can you answer one question?
Why can't you show me?
I'll tell you what. Go find one place where we said we were going to measure with a story pole millimeter. No one ever said that. No one ever said that. What's wrong with you? Are you stupid?
You're having a problem here.
Are you stupid? Do you have a problem?
No, I'm not stupid, but I'm
Do you have a problem? Can you find out one place where we said we were going to measure with a story pole to millimeter accuracy?
Oh, I heard you saying I heard Bev saying he's going to measure millimeter accuracy.
I like to give me a millimeter accurate. Yes, that's what I said. He definitely said that.
He like his range is millimeter accuracy. He never said he was going to use an auto level. You dumbass.
I'll use an auto level. That's exactly what we were doing.
Excuse me, I'm really confused.
Okay, right. So when I got the auto level, I had a first test. How far can I see and keep millimeter accurate? How accurate can I see a 1 millimeter on the measuring rod from my auto level? How far away can I get with that and still measure 1 millimeter? Now, that was what I found, right? I did that range. I asked my son as well to see how accurate he could get. He got the same. When we went out to the beach and we were doing it live on the beach and I showed it to everybody, I asked them what sort of distance they could read 1 millimeter accuracy at, and they got to about the same. So we know how far away we can get with a 1 millimeter accuracy working range, right? We know that. Most of the people in here have seen that with their own eyes, and they've seen the measurement of how far away they get.
Read your measurements within.
I just want to know with somebody else's.
You have the device. Can you show it to me? What's the device? What's the name of the device that you're going to use?
It's an auto level.
Show you millimeter accuracy.
Auto level.
No, not the auto level. What you're looking at. I want the thing that you're going to be looking at.
The measuring rod. Have you seen a measuring rod? Have you seen a measuring rod?
It's broken down into millimeters. Yeah, it's a rod that goes 5 meters, and you can, it's broken down into millimeters.
Into centimeters.
That's the whole point.
It's into centimeters, but I've got one that's broke down into 5 millimeter segments, right? Half.
Yeah. But you know the gaps between them, what they are as a ratio. I mean, like it's not like you can't measure a millimeter on just because they've got 10 centimeter squares.
You can tell if it's in the middle.
You still get within literally get it. Yeah, exactly.
You can tell if it's in the middle. You can tell if it's closer to one end,
or a little bit more above the middle, or a bit lower than
exactly.
the middle.
Yeah. You can tell. You can tell because it's within that working range. You can look through. And see to the millimeter.
You can put a mark.
You can't see because you
mark on the pole.
Half a centimeter.
Put a mark on the pole where the crosshair is, and you can look on there and see and measure that distance. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the guy with the measuring rod can put his fingernail on it and go there. Right, then they can look at it and give you the reading. That's how accurate we are. That's why we say to the millimeter. Now, can somebody answer when you did your testing? How far away did you guys get? Especially the guy that's claimed to got an auto level. You haven't got an auto level, have you? Blue?
Fingernail accuracy.
Have you actually got an auto level?
No, I don't have
Okay, right. So can I ask the guy that's claimed that he has an auto level what his accuracy was when he looked through his auto level, right? What distance did you get? Because there's a guy called, there's a guy from Maine that said he only goes 100 feet, which is about 33 meters or something like that. And that's the most he goes. Now, we go a little bit further than that, but that's because he's only got a 24 times scope. We've got a 32 times scope, so a slightly better scope, more accurate over distance. But still, we only go to about 50 meters. That's what we dealt with. Now, who's the guy with an auto level? What did you get, please? Accuracy-wise.
No one. Where is the guy?
He might have just claimed that he had an auto level without actually having an auto level. A lot of people do that.
Happened before.
Yeah, yeah.
You might have just gone out to put the laundry on and maybe get dinner or something while I was waiting for you to shut up as well. Anyway, I wasn't talking about putting up bookshelves.
Have you got an auto level?
Or I got a 4-inch reflecting telescope. That gives pretty good magnification. I can lip read a mile away with that.
What accuracy can you get to that then?
But I wasn't talking about putting up bookshelves. I was talking about looking at a distant hill, 500
We're talking about keeping a horizontal, aren't we?
100 kilometres away.
Or just looking at something.
Oh,
let's
you can use
change
a
it a
water
bit.
level in the foreground.
We're talking about stadia hairs specifically, aren't we? And devices with crosshairs. That's what we're talking about. Have we gone off that now? We're not talking about that now?
I didn't ever tell you to use a device with a crosshair in it.
Okay.
Did you just say you could set up a water level to establish a horizontal?
Yeah.
Nice. Sweet.
Mm-hmm.
It won't give you, to the micro degree horizontal. But if you set up a...
Why not? You put a communicating vessels on it with a micrometer.
Yeah, it will be level between those 2 points, yeah.
Yeah.
Bev, your mouth, your ears, close one, open the other for like more than 5 seconds.
Why don't you try it too?
Yeah, try giving us an answer, somebody, to one of the questions that we've asked.
For what feels like weeks now.
Hey, come on.
What I was saying was, you can set up a water
Don't
level.
have to do that.
Yeah, we do set up water levels.
Set up a water level on Brownkley Hill and or on Lord's Seat.
On the top of a hill?
Bev, you've already been incredulous about that once. It wasn't even original or funny the first time.
No, I'm serious. On the top of the hill, are you saying to set up a water level on the top of the hill?
Do you not have working legs? Do you not own some form of rucksack or satchel or something?
Yeah, do you know what a water level is?
So incredibly asthmatic that you can't carry like 1 litre of water 500 metres
Do you
up
understand
on a
the principles of a water level?
At what elevation water level stop to work in, Bev? It's the working range of water level.
Well,
as I
from
was
the
saying,
top of a hill.
You can carry the parts of a water level and some water up a hill, set the thing up and half fill it with water. So you have those water surfaces, give it time to settle, measure a distance back from it, and take a photograph through it such that the water levels in all of the uprights appear in a straight line across your photograph, and you will know that that photograph was taken in a plane that is horizontal at the center of that device.
Dark
And
shark
at
on
eye
a
level,
hill.
Horizontal through the center of that device is the line
This is on for you,
through
Buster.
the water
Get that one
surfaces
going.
in all of the uprights. You can then, in this photograph, identify distant hills and see whether they are above or below that line of sight. Now, your line of sight horizontal in this photograph will not be perfectly horizontal because this device is far from perfect. It will not give you micro degree accuracy, but it will give you, within maybe 1/10 of a degree or 1/5 of a degree. A hill 500 meters tall to another hill 500 meters tall that is 100 kilometers away should give you, within a certain angle, depending how well you set this up, of either exactly in that same horizontal line of sight or well below it, depending whether the Earth is flat or curved.
I wasn't listening to you, dude. It
You
just
never
sounds like
do.
a load of gibberish. I hope all of your mates were listening, though, because that sounds great. I can't wait to see you till you get Ranty to do that for you.
You've ever
That'd
actually
be
listened
great.
to anyone? Apart
It's
from,
funny, Doc, but
definitely.
didn't the Scottish or the guy who's in Scotland in on the Edinburgh side
Fight the flat Earth. Fight the flat Earth.
The Traprain Law photographs, you mean?
Yes.
Yes.
Names take such a long time to come to me.
Same name as a musician.
Yes. jazz musician name, but
Miles Davis.
Yeah, that's the one.
Oh, right, Bev.
Oh, sorry.
Those
It's strange that they
photographs
don't know
were-
the names of all of these people they're going to cite. This will be a great one, this. Wait till you hear this one. Go on, what did he do?
Unfortunately, I have a health condition that affects my memory to a degree. It really affects my memory badly for names.
Me too.
So this is why I always apologise for the fact that sometimes names and stuff escape me, and it takes a while for me to remember them. But he actually had.
I'm the same, mate. I'm the same.
I had a he had a camera.
I apologise as well.
That was at a trig point on a hill that was 210 meters above sea level.
Yeah.
Which is also
don't
exactly
use that. This isn't going to go well, mate.
Which is also exactly the same height.
You don't need to.
As the top of the Forth Road Bridge towers.
Yeah, well, you're going to end up
I remember
proving
that
a
one.
horizontal water level
was
if you're not
using,
careful. Watch what you do.
In effect, he was actually doing the Bedford level thing, wasn't he? Really?
Yeah, the 3 points.
Yeah, but
by lining up the first and the middle point and seeing that the distant points were too low.
No, they were all on the same level. They were all at the same level. That was the whole point of it. They were all at 200 meters and they were all at the same level. And he turned round and they were all at the same elevation as well. So that made the zero elevation was all at the same level and it was horizontal. I've been over it with Fight the Flat
They're
Earth.
getting level and horizontal mixed up again.
No,
Bev.
that's what
And
he
no,
said.
The mountains in Scotland aren't only 200 meters
He
tall.
said the
They're called
eyesight.
mountains for
he
a
thought
reason.
the eyesight was a tangent, and he said that was a horizontal tangent, and the eyesight was level for 200 meters to 200 meters. A horizontal. He specifically said that eye level is horizontal, and that was at 200 meters from where he was to the top of the mountain and to the monument. All three of them. Horizontal, eye level, same level, which means that the zero that they were above 200 meters was also
You're lying.
level.
I can tell by the shape of your mouth. You're that bad at it that I can actually see.
That's honest truth. That honest
through
truth.
audio.
Fight the Flat Earth.
Line of sight.
Take it to the
from
bank.
His
I even
mouse
got my lad to
location
draw that one. That was
at
a
the
good
trig
one.
point
That was
to the
one
top of
the
that
early
tower
ones.
would be horizontal at the midpoint of that line.
Sorry,
Line of
horizontal
sight
at the
going-
midpoint of the line.
Going from the trig point through the top of the tower to a point on the mountain.
It's a straight
could be
line that's
taken
only
as being a
horizontal at the
horizontal line
middle.
that is a line that is horizontal at the midpoint of the line from the trig point to the top of the tower. But that
That's
does
a
not
straight
mean
line, mate.
that point on the mountain is 200 meters above sea level.
That's a straight line, and you're saying only the midpoint is horizontal.
That's because level is curved, Bev.
Yeah, but the horizontal
also
line
saying-
is the whole line. So the whole line is
at the
horizontal.
midpoint of the line from the observation point to the top of the bridge tower, which is at the same elevation.
Yeah, but that
It's
line
not
is
horizontal
a
at the
straight
observation
line.
point. It's not horizontal at the
You're
top.
getting
of the,
mixed
top of the
up,
tower.
dude.
It's not horizontal halfway from
I'm
the tower to
sorry.
the mountain, and it's not horizontal at the mountain. It's horizontal at the halfway point between the observation point
It's a
and
straight
the top
line,
of the bridge
right?
tower.
It's a straight line all the way across.
Well, no, because there's refraction, but we can treat it as a straight line if that makes it easier
So
for
then
you.
the whole line's horizontal.
Horizontal at the midpoint of the distance from the observation point to the top of the bridge tower.
But the whole line is horizontal, right?
It's horizontal at the midpoint
All
of
of the
line
points
segment
along the
from
line. It's
observation
from
point
one
to the top
line
of the
is-
bridge tower. It's horizontal at the midpoint
Why
of the
can't I
line
get this
segment
through
from the
to
observation
people? What's
point to
going
the top
on?
of the bridge tower. It is horizontal at the midpoint of the line
I know,
section
you
from the
keep
observation
saying
point
that, dude.
to the top of the
So
bridge
it
tower.
curves at
It is
either end, you
horizontal
moron.
At the midpoint.
Is it not
of the
straight, the
segment
line?
From the observation point to the top of the bridge tower. It is horizontal.
Does it
at the
curve on
midpoint
either end, genius? I'm tired
of
of
the line
listening to this
segment
idiot.
From the observation point to the top of the bridge tower.
You're a
That is
clown,
not
dude.
horizontal at other
You're a
locations.
clown, and you're
It is
just
not horizontal
showing
at
it
the
right
observation
now.
point. It is not horizontal at the top of the bridge tower. It is not horizontal.
Lou,
halfway
listen
from the
to your
top of the
guest.
mountain.
He's
It is
losing
not
it.
horizontal at the
It
mountain.
is a
Like one of
straight
these
line.
robots
Where that
going
line
like
side
smoke
intersects
coming out
the near
and
side
shit,
of the
lights.
mountain is not 200 meters above sea level.
Dog, Dog, can I just say, the one thing that we will agree with them on is it's a straight line.
Yeah, but
horizontally the straight
There
line.
you go.
Great.
Yeah, horizontal's a straight line as well, isn't it?
Bev,
Finally,
horizontal being a straight
Alan.
line doesn't
Thank
mean
you.
that every straight line is horizontal.
No, but if that point is horizontal at the midpoint, then the whole line is horizontal, right?
No.
You can't have a straight line that's only horizontal at the
Wow.
midpoint. That's something
At
wrong
the
there,
midpoint
dude.
of the line segment from the observation point to the top of the bridge tower.
He's having a nervous breakdown, I think.
I'm sorry, guys.
Horizontal at that location is not the
Bev, you
same
broke him,
direction
bro.
as
You broke
horizontal
him.
at the top of the bridge tower.
Sorry.
It's not the same direction as horizontal at the observation point.
Right, yeah, that's great and all, but
A line can only be horizontal in a line of many miles length.
Yeah.
Or many tens of kilometers.
A straight line.
A straight line can only be horizontal with relation to one point underneath it on this planet.
No.
Oh, come on, Alan. You did so good before. So are you saying it curves at a distance? At what point does it start
I think
curving?
he's saying that horizontal
It's
can't
always
be a
curved.
straight
It's just-
line. What's
The only reason we can't measure curve over a 1 meter distance is the fact that the curve is 79 nanometers, which is around about the wavelength of fairly high end ultraviolet light.
nanometers? Did you say?
Yes.
You gotta be kidding, Alan.
The drop from horizontal over 1 meter is 79 nanometers.
It's a real word, Bev. Look it up in a dictionary if you need to.
So that's a horizontal line. Is it like a drop of a horizontal line, or the drop of a horizontal plane?
It's the drop. It's the drop. If I put a horizontal line out from a point on the surface of a globe of
You just do one end of a water level, right?
right. If I have a globe with a mean radius of 6371009 meters.
Wow, that's big.
The drop of the surface from a horizontal line that's tangent at a point at 1 meter from the tangent point, the drop is 7.8231 times 10 to the minus 8 meters.
But that horizontal line that you've just measured that down from, right? That horizontal line that you've just measured that down from is a horizontal line of how long's that?
1 meter.
All right. So that whole line is horizontal, yeah?
No, it's only horizontal at the point where it's tangent to the surface.
What?
What?
Sorry, the straight line that's horizontal is only horizontal.
The straight line is only horizontal at the point where it's tangent.
You know
to the
what
surface.
a point is, right? In geometry.
I don't care for your over.
It's not
simplified.
my
2D geometry.
No, it's not my geometry. This is the foundations of
I
mathematics.
don't give a. Excuse my language, Blue, but I don't give a fuck if it's in Euclid's book or not.
It's the foundations of mathematics, dude. Do you not like mathematics?
I just don't like your take on it.
It's not my take on mathematics, dude. I'm sorry. But, I mean, that seems like a really bad way to be. You do realise that you've just said a straight line is only horizontal at a point.
At one
How's
point,
it only horizontal at a point?
So what does that make?
On the surface of a sphere, on the surface of a sphere, a straight line can only be horizontal at one point.
So what's a horizontal line look like then?
Actually, too.
He said it before, it always curves. You didn't catch that, Bev.
No, I might have been away. A horizontal's not a circle, is it?
No, it's not.
It's a straight line then, perpendicular to vertical.
Yeah,
Yeah.
1 point.
And vertical is different at every single point on the surface of a sphere.
I hope you're not going to say the horizontal straight line is only horizontal when there's a vertical there and it's on the point of the vertical where it's horizontal.
It's horizontal at the point. It's horizontal at the tangent point that the line has to the surface of the sphere.
Where the vertical is.
Yep.
So the horizontal is only horizontal where it's vertical.
At which point it will be coincident with, it will be at 90 degrees to the vertical, correct?
You can't have a point at 90 degrees to a vertical. It is on the vertical. It's a point that is on that vertical. Now, you're not going to say that's the only place a horizontal exists, I hope.
Yes, it is. Once you move, your vertical is different.
I'm
not
sorry,
parallel,
guys.
Not parallel,
I'm sorry.
Not parallel to the other
To
vertical.
them, it's always
and it's
curving. A
not
straight line always
always
curves. They're in
vertical.
La La Land. Plain and simple. Alan said it before. Go ahead, Alan. Prove me wrong.
Bev, anywhere you are on Earth,
Tag team.
you have a vertical, which is your vertical for that location.
Plumb bob.
That
Yeah, I know
location's
what a
vertical,
plumb
not
bob
yours
is.
personally.
I've seen the tools. yes.
Horizontal at that location is perpendicular to that vertical.
Wherever you are with a plumb bob and a level, they will always be perpendicular. Always.
The
Every
direction
time.
from the plumb bob to
Even
the
when
point
you
from which
keep
the
the
plumb bob's
level in
suspended.
one position and move the plumb bob, it will still be perpendicular to the level.
What, you move the plumb bob from one end of the 3-foot carpenter's level to the other?
Or from one end of a 400-meter water level to the other. Yes. Perpendicular.
They're not parallel. Because
the horizontal isn't horizontal. Or it's only horizontal at the point that you put the plumb bob.
If you're using a 400-meter water level, you're using a curve, not a horizontal straight line.
That's interesting.
And yes, Bev, what you said. It's only horizontal when you drop the plumb bob.
Okay, so I can walk along that water level, or any level, with a plumb bob, and every time I stop it, it will be perpendicular to the level, right?
Nope.
What?
Nope.
You say it's not perpendicular to level
will
now,
not
then?
be perpendicular. Once
Plumb
you
bob
take
isn't
the plumb bob,
perpendicular to level.
right, you go along this line, the plumb bob is not perpendicular to the line. Yes,
That
Bev.
depends whether we're... Hang on. It depends whether you're talking about a water level as a straight line between two water surface
talking about a
points,
level,
one at each
No,
end of a long
plumb
hose.
bobs. Don't bring water levels. We're talking about plumb bobs.
Yeah, see, Chikey knows what he's talking about. I doubt
Take
it.
a
But
plumb
can we
bob,
let him
you
keep
draw
keep
vertical.
talking?
You draw a straight line
It
vertical.
depends whether you're talking about a water level as a water surface or as a straight line
Don't get
from one
upset
end
with
to the other
Chikey. Chikey
of
will
a
keep
water
doing
hose.
this all day, mate. Don't do that.
Relax.
Yeah,
If you have a
tell him,
water
Chikey.
hose
Yeah,
with
relax,
the ends
dude.
turned
Chikey
up,
says if Chikey says relax, you're in
water
trouble,
with
mate.
both ends, and you draw a straight line from one end to the other,
In
then
the
no, the plumb bob
desert,
will
there
not be
is no
perpendicular to that straight line.
water.
If you have a very long trough full of water as your water level, then the plumb bob will be
Like a
perpendicular
canal.
to the surface of the water right where it is, but not at any other part of that surface.
You're very
because vertical
bad at
is not
arguing,
the same
you know?
when you change location.
Don't make
Vertical in
argument.
Stockport and vertical in Southport and vertical in Portsmouth are not the same direction.
You sounded
Horizontal
really
at
southern then.
Stockport, horizontal at Southport, and horizontal in Portsmouth are not the same plane.
Sounded like who was it? The one
So the
Wordsworth.
plane that is horizontal at Stockport, when it
How
goes
do you
over
know?
Southport,
How do you know
is not
that?
horizontal at that location.
How do you know that? Seriously.
They
Don't
don't answer
personally or me
questions spot
personally?
on. Somebody else will come in a minute.
Well, I mean,
No, I'm with you.
The guy that just said that, you know, like the horizontals around the area. I mean,
I'm with you, Bev.
why are you
So
saying they're
drop the
not
plumb bob.
horizontal?
I have to applaud them. They're some of the best globe trolls I've
wasn't
ever
I
done.
talking?
Have you
Rakia?
heard? The one of them just talks forever, and as soon as somebody answers a question, somebody else pops in and takes over and asks another question.
Don't answer the question, avoid it, have someone else come in, change the subject, and voila.
I'm staying on the
Bing, bang,
subject,
boom.
Rakia. Relax. So you drop the plumb bob.
Yeah, no, but you didn't get asked the question. The other guy did.
Yeah, Chaiki's supporting, or he's going to say that Dog hasn't got a clue what he's talking about now. Chaiki's.
He already told him.
I don't go to water levels. Since you didn't mention water levels, you mentioned plumb bob. I'm going to with the plumb bobs. I'm not changing the
Tell that
subject.
guy to sit down, Chaiki. I mean, he was
You
doing
drop
okay.
a plumb bob.
Yeah, he was talking about. That other guy was talking about the water level low. And how he was making all sorts of claims, and he got asked, how does he know to make those claims? And he shut up, and then you started talking, Jake.
Listen, no, he was talking through.
Listen,
and I'll ask the same question to you about what you're about to say about the plumb bobs. You're going to say they're different somewhere else; they're not parallel. So how do you know that?
Here. So
how do you know?
That's my question to you then.
Don't let me answer. Don't let me answer. Absolutely not.
No, you can answer.
I might have an answer for you. Don't let me answer.
Still not answering.
So you drop the plumb bob, you draw a straight line. You go along the straight line, you drop another plumb bob, and you measure the angle.
How do you draw a straight line? How do you do that? I need a little more.
Yeah. I mean, like, what sort of distance are you talking?
With an auto level.
I mean,
Straight line with an auto level.
Yeah.
At what distance
you
can
measure
you do
in
that?
verticals? With
half a mile. How about half a mile?
With an auto level, vertical.
With an auto level.
Yeah, vertical. You go along this vertical, right? Go
We can measure that 2 inches
and
of
you
drop
measure.
over a half a mile easily then. Right, Chike? Just use your magical auto level over a half a mile and measure drop from it 2 inches of drop over water,
Ben
right?
said you can
Voila.
be accurate to the millimeter, right?
Not over a half a mile, he didn't.
No.
No.
100 meters.
Yeah, you just said
So
a half a mile.
You will walk 100 meters and you will try to measure.
So you're just going to avoid the half a mile thing?
And you will make another vertical. and
You're
you'll
just going to go
see-
over to what Brant says?
Don't let me answer, Rakia.
Half a mile. My question to you.
Come on,
You're
Rakia,
avoiding again.
let him answer the. You know they talk shite. You know, like all of the other ballers that are listening. Chaiki's the expert now. He's talking for all of the other ballers, right? They're gonna have to think whatever Chaiki says is real. Now, I'd say, please don't listen to what Chaiki's gonna say. But I mean, if you're a baller and you're deluded, then go ahead. Think Chaiki knows what he's talking about.
Like in the fact that he said auto level can make a
Ask
straight
me a
line.
question and don't let me answer then. So you will walk 100 meters away and you will put another auto level there at your line, and you will see that now you will not look at the center of the other auto level, you will look 0.7 millimeters up. Well, that's a bit under your what you can measure. You will have to go maybe 200 meters.
When it comes to the thing that Dog was saying a little while ago about the plane at touching a tangent plane on the surface of the sphere.
Not a horizontal tangent plane, though, right? You can't have a horizontal plane, can you? They don't exist, do they?
I can have a tangent. I can have a plane that is horizontal at the point of tangents.
Yeah, but you can't have a horizontal plane, can you? I mean, they just don't exist, do they? There's no such thing as a horizontal plane, is there?
It's only horizontal at that. It's only horizontal at that point, but it's still a plane.
On your model, of course, right? We have to remind people of this. Like, horizontal planes in reality do actually exist.
Did you just say a point was a plane?
Yeah, he does. He says a horizontal plane is only horizontal at the point. Rumpus brought this one up like a year ago. And I said this is the new horizontal at a point. And this is the consequence of it, right? They've lost their chance of a horizontal plane. They don't exist anymore.
Plane is a point.
Anyway, I have taken measurements. Okay, I have taken measurements by looking slightly upwards at half a degree from the horizontal, because looking horizontally is less than ideal.
If you enjoyed the content, please support On the Level and future projects. Membership subscriptions available now, or come and get involved at Next Level Discord server. Thank you.